Yo, what is going on, everybody? We are here. Let me do my webcam screen first. Yo, what's going on, everybody? We've got an amazing special guest today for our first spotlight. So you can only see me now because we're trying to save that anticipation of the amazing Rogue. But I just want to thank everybody for being here. It means a lot to me, and this is exciting. I'm excited. Like if you could tell, like I'm so nervous right now. Like my face is all bright red and stuff. But enough with that chit chat and everything. Let's go ahead and let's pull it up here. Oh, oh, and there she is. There's
Oh
Rogue.
my god.
Thank you for being here.
Oh my god.
Awesome.
I'm so nervous.
Yeah. It's exactly how I feel right now. If you could see my hands, they're sweaty.
Right? Here, ready? Go.
Yeah. Oh, I know, right? Like, I don't know if you
Wait.
can see
Here.
them. Oh,
Do it,
are we
do it, do it.
high-fiving? What are we doing? What's going on here? I'm so confused. Just like
We're
everyday life.
showing our
So,
steaks right now. Look
oh,
at
yeah. My knees are weak and my arms are heavy. There's no vomit on my
Mom's
sweater
spaghetti?
yet, but it would be mom's spaghetti. But
I think Mama's here.
uh-oh, mom. I'm sorry. Your spaghetti's great. It's not you, it's me. It's because I'm nervous now.
It's not you, it's me.
Yeah, it's not you, it's me. Oh boy, how many times I had to say it. You know what? Anyways, so we're here. We're here to have a good time. So a little about me. My name's VOP. My real world first name is Danny, and I was in the Marine Corps. I'm a
Doing first names. Oh my god.
You don't have to. It's just to ease it in case you want to. So what we're gonna do here. So yeah, Marine Corps veteran. Did some stuff. Maybe if we get to a certain number of these, I'll do mine. I'll just sit here and we'll do a fireside chat. Maybe if you're lucky.
Maybe.
If I could ever get the courage to do it by myself, maybe.
Right.
But anyways, it's not about me. It's just so you know, I'm not just some dude who's playing a dude who's pretending to be a dude. I'm actually was a dude at one point in time. Don't let the beard fool you.
Still are a dude.
Yeah, I'm still.
Are a dude.
Yeah, in some way, shape, and form, absolutely, am a dude.
Aren't we all a little bit of dude though?
Yeah.
Just a little bit.
The great poet once said, "I'm a dude. He's a dude. She's a dude. We're all dudes." Hey. And if you haven't seen that, it's from Good Burger. Good Burger. Yeah.
Oh my god, that's an oldie.
Absolutely. Yeah, I'm there. But anyways, it's Rogue Frog. See, I'm pointing. Oh, I got it right. Yeah, right over here. This side. It's so weird. On the
That side.
Yeah, that side.
You're on that side.
Yeah, I'm on this side. Yeah, it's so weird. But anyways, so crazy adventure. Let's see. Where should we begin? Let's begin in the beginning.
Begin in the beginning.
Well, why don't you introduce yourself? Tell us a little bit about.
Everybody knows who I am. I mean, everybody knows who you are. Okay, so I'm Rogue, and write this down because it may be on a giveaway later. My first name, I don't go by it, and I won't answer by it. So if you put that in chat, I'm gonna ignore you, just for further future reference. My first name is Andrea. Now, I will not answer to it. Nobody calls me that. I don't even go by that since I've been out of the military. I haven't, since I was in the military. I don't go by that. Only my close family calls me that. And we're all family, but I'm talking like my mom says it, and my brother calls me that, and
did we just get
my stepson calls me that because he hasn't got to call me mom yet. So
we just get the exclusive? Oh yeah.
Exclusive. I haven't even put it out on my channel what my first name is.
Yo. Oh, I feel honored. Thank you.
You're welcome.
So
anyway, but I go by Rogue Frog. I've had that name since forever and a day, so nobody can steal that from me.
Good.
There's only one.
Uh-oh. Just you. That's all the world can handle. One Rogue Frog.
Yeah,
that's it.
You can't handle any more Rogue Frogs.
No way.
Really can't. No. Not with the shit that I say. Nope. There's only one.
Yeah, it's good. It's true. True story. I was there.
Facts.
So I know vaguely Army, correct?
Yes,
Okay.
8 years.
8 years.
Well, 5 years active, 3 years guard. I was a nasty girl. I admit it. I was a nasty girl. There are many of us, and there are many more currently in, but I was a nasty girl for 3 years. Yeah, but mainly Army for 5.
Oh, awesome.
Oh no.
Yeah. Sorry. That
I mean Army for all 8.
My bad.
Just
Yeah.
I was like really Army for 5.
You were like main.
Y'all know what
main
I
army.
mean.
Yeah. Yeah, we get it. So,
Ew.
what made you choose the army of all
Oh
branches?
my gosh. We're getting into it. So I
Head
grew up in a
first.
very small town in West Virginia. Very small. My father was in the military. That's not why I joined. He was an asshole. But that's a whole nother story about my daddy trauma.
Sure.
But we'll just start from graduating high school. So I graduated at 17, not because I was smart, but because my birthday was late. Simple as that, really. And I started college right after, just like, a typical girl or boy of that age group or demographic, and put myself in a lot of debt. Ended up doing the stereotypical college thing, drinking and boozing it up and smoking, and not weed. I've never smoked weed. That's a whole nother topic. And I didn't really have direction in my life. So I thought, well, why don't I join the Army? I mean, so I went down and talked to a recruiter. I was overweight by their standards. I was 151 pounds when I graduated high school, which was overweight. This is how effed up the Army is with
Absolutely.
weight standards.
Mhm.
As you, I'm sure, know VOP with any kind of weight standards.
I'm 6'4", and 220 was my max weight.
That's crazy.
I could fit my fingers in my ribs.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
crazy. It's crazy. I
Nasty.
think it's changed since, right?
hope so.
It's changed since we were in.
It's a hard life being
It is.
not the standard cookie cutter.
Yeah, so the standard for my height, I'm 5'6.5", so 66 inches, as the military says. I had to weigh 141 pounds, which is stupid skinny. In my opinion, for me, for my body type. I don't want anybody to get the wrong idea. Fuck you if you do.
Yeah.
So, just kidding. So for my body type, that is extremely skinny, or it was, it still is actually. But I was 151 pounds, and I had to get a waiver. So they literally, the recruiter put me on a diet of only eating a salad for like 2 weeks. Salads was the only thing I was allowed to have with no dressing. So I had like lettuce and carrot and like tomato, and that was it for 2 weeks.
It's not healthy at all. That's not how you
No.
properly cut weight.
No, it's not. But that's what he told me to do. So I was like, okay.
That's insane. I wrestled for years, and to cut weight, you would not eat a salad. That is,
yeah.
Your recruiter did you
I mean,
dirty.
He wasn't a nutritionist, clearly.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I cut the weight, got a waiver still because I was overweight still. And I went to Fort Sill. I'm skipping over my whole MOS choice, but it's fine. I was originally going to be military intelligence topographical analyst, but then I told the security guy that I drank underage, and so
there goes that.
That didn't work because there was a pattern to my drinking, so they weren't going to give me a top secret clearance because of that when I first went in.
Yeah.
So then I was like, well, I guess I can do this. Boop. And it was 31 Romeo back in the day when I got in, or when I went in. So they were like, well, you're going to Fort Sill. And I was like, where the fuck is that?
Sorry, a different branch here, Marine. What's a 31 Romeo?
Oh, I'm sorry. It's
I mean, for those who don't know, I mean, of course I know what it is. You know, I've got my cheat sheet here. I know, but
yeah,
for those who don't, yeah, I got a cheat sheet.
Yeah,
of everything.
Yeah, it turned into a 25 Quebec, same thing, but they added in like a bunch of other jobs. They combined a bunch of MOSs. But at the time, the technical name was Multi-Channel Transmission Systems Operator Maintainer. That's the sounds exciting. No, It's not fucking exciting. Um, so I ended up doing that, but went to Fort Sill. And I was like, wait, isn't Fort Sill co-ed? Because I knew a little bit about basic trainings and stuff. So there was Leonard Wood that was co-ed. There was Jackson that was co-ed. And that was pretty much it. I think co-ed, and then everything else was male predominantly. But they said no. So Fort Sill, for the year that I wasn't there for a year, but for the time frame that I was there, I was one of the last classes to go through co-ed, because the Army was trying to make it gentler, because there had been some warnings. I don't know. They do checks and stuff for the different bases. I don't know who's in charge of that, but
Health and wellness.
there had been some stuff, right? There had been some stuff coming down through the pipes of mistreatment of soldiers, and I'm not talking nowadays with these fucking bullshit stress cards. Offense, please take offense to that, because I don't care.
Yeah, you heard it first.
Right, I don't care. You can yell at me all you want or whatever, but fucking stress cards is the stupidest thing I've ever heard of, ever. What is there in combat? What is there in being deployed? Fucking stress, okay? Get over it.
Exactly.
You can't say, I'm sorry, Saddam, can you take my card, please? I need to step back for an hour. No.
Stop shooting at me. I'm stressed.
Right. Can you stop mortaring my tents, please? I'm trying to sleep. It's stressful.
Yeah, I need my sleep. I get no cell service here.
Right, I digress.
Yeah.
My Apple Watch isn't working. Well, you're giving away your position, you dumbass.
I had a text message while I was on stream. Someone, some Marine Army sniper from Iraq who was currently killing Talibans, text me, just randomly text my number, and I was like, oh. So our stream, we fucked around with the scammer for a while. They didn't even know what like EAS was, or like the Chow Hall, or any of this kind of stuff. So it was just like,
that's crazy.
Yeah. Anyways.
Crazy. Yeah, but I mean, anyway, so this could take 2 hours, the way I talk about things. So Fort Sill, I was like, okay, it's co-ed, cool. Well, so we get to you don't go directly to basic training. You go to the what's it called? It's like a little camp before basic training, where you just get like your paperwork in order. They issue you all your shit. It's only a couple of days.
Like a receiving type thing?
Yeah, kind of. I forget the name of it though. It starts with an R.
Different branch. We just went straight to boot camp, and we were in a receiving platoon, and then you still got treated like a recruit. You just couldn't.
They loaded for all that shit.
Is it called reception?
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you. Reception. Thanks, it was reception. Yes. Dobby. Oh, there we go. So anyways, and it's very small. It's like maybe 5, 6 cadets, or not cadets, but 5 or 6 troopers. Right? And it's only for a few days while you get your paperwork in order, while you get your all your uniforms, all your gear, all that stuff. So we get there, and then they do like a mini PT test. So they want to make sure you can do at least, I think for the women, it was 3 push-ups, which I barely squeaked those out. I think I farted on the last one. I was like, like it was.
Yeah, I still that.
I couldn't.
I do that to this day.
Push up. Kind of like now.
You're all good.
Yeah.
But you know what they say: if gas doesn't come out, you're not pushing hard enough.
Exactly. And I have no shame, because I mean, everybody farts.
Yeah.
So you have to do 3 push-ups, and like you do the mile or 2 miles, and I don't know. This is a stupid amount of time, like 10 minutes. No, not 10 minutes. It was like 15 minutes.
There we go.
And or maybe it was just a mile. I don't find. It was so long ago, guys. This was 2001. We're talking, okay?
Yo.
I graduated. Maybe I should have said that. I graduated in 2000. I'm old. I know there's people older, but I feel old.
I was a freshman in high school. Woo.
So I went in. Well, you look great. You look great. I love the beard.
Thank you.
So I went in in 2001, right before it was May 8th, 2001 is when I went into basic training.
Wow.
And anyway, I was able to pass the reception or whatever and get in. They herded us. So we got all our. I had 2 rucksacks and a duffel, or I'm sorry, I had 2 duffel bags and a rucksack.
Yeah.
Basically, not put together because they didn't give us time to do all that bullshit. So I got that, and I'm doing this, and I only took 1 bag with me. That was it. And I'm gonna backtrack a little bit.
Sure.
But I didn't have a very good childhood. I mean, better than some, but not as good as some either. And I know everybody's got a story, but I had a pretty rough childhood. Abuse. My father. The reason why I have a hard time accepting that crying is okay now, which I do a lot, is because my father used to make me say uncle, and I would never give him the pleasure of it. So, because I'm a stubborn bitch.
Yeah.
So, even though he would just about tear my arm out of socket or my leg or my finger or whatever, I would never say it. I would be crying and he'd make fun of me and it'd make me pissed off, and I would never tell him. Never. I would never give him the satisfaction.
Yeah.
So anyway, so I knew what to expect because he made us do push-ups. He yelled at us constantly, like, because he was a drill sergeant at one of his duty stations. So I knew what to expect. I knew what they'd say. I knew the stuff that they'd call us because he would he would basically treat us like new troops.
Yeah.
Me and my brother. So I knew what to expect. I knew it 100%. So it wasn't no big thing for me. But they herded us onto cattle cars, which was interesting. Those big trailers.
Yeah.
With the doors that open. Yeah. The cattle car.
Yeah.
Fucking cattle car. So they crammed us all in there and they drove us to our to basic training. And everybody, there was people crying and like snotting all over themselves. I'm like, you better nut up because this isn't even it right now.
Yeah, this isn't the worst part yet. Just wait.
Yeah.
Wait about an hour.
Yeah. So we get there and oh my God, people are flipping their shit and like losing it. And I'm like, just straight ahead, just do it and move out. Like, don't make a scene. Don't make eye contact even. Just fucking roll out, right? And try not to laugh because it was fucking hilarious. The first time one of them called us a maggot, I was like...
I've seen this movie before.
Right?
Yeah.
Right? Oh my gosh. So we get there and, dress right, a whole bunch of bullshit that you got to go through. All the crap that they say and do, and it's interesting.
Absolutely. Yeah.
But so I get through that, right? And that was, I think it was 12 weeks, not 12 weeks. 6. How long is basic? Fuck, I don't even know. 6 weeks, 8 weeks, something like that.
Not sure.
My
Something
AIT
like that,
was 12 and a half weeks.
Yeah.
But basic is not that long. So it's like 6 weeks, I think, or something like that. 8 weeks, 6 to 8 weeks.
I'm sure someone will say something here soon.
Yeah. So, that's over. Basic training. It happened. We did it. I'm not a runner, but I was able to do my 2 miles. Yeah. I only failed one PT test in basic training. And that was it. Because I don't like to fail. So.
Absolutely. Yeah. I'm not a runner either.
Yeah, I don't run. Not even now.
When I was in boot camp, my senior drill instructor gave us the best piece of advice that I used my entire Marine Corps career. And that was after you finish your PT test, which you take twice a year, which will impact basically your military future. If you don't throw up, you didn't run hard enough. And I took that to heart because I was like, you're right. I give it all once for 6 months. Like 6 months time, I train, do whatever. I have to run 3 miles once. And if I don't give it all there, like, you're right. If I don't throw up, you're absolutely right, because you only got to do it once, twice a year. Yep. Give it all twice a year. So I hate running, but it's the best piece of advice I got.
Fact. That's fact. And I think I don't like throwing up. So I will dry heave until I'm red in the face, and I almost passed out quite a few times from hyperventilation. But other than that, I never threw up because I hate vomiting.
Yeah,
but yes, the shower. I can tell our first shower incident.
Yo, are we doing shower stories now?
It was
What?
nuts to butts, yo, and I don't have no nuts, and neither did the other
Okay.
women.
That's
So that was an interesting experience.
hmm
Um, so well, obviously all females. Um,
with no nuts to
she,
clarify.
right, no nuts.
Yeah, no nuts.
She she being the female drill sergeant, it's like, all right, gather your shit. I'm like, what? They're like, okay. And so get your shampoo. And then we had to get our shampoo.
Yeah.
You had to squeeze shampoo in one hand, body wash in the other. And that was it. That's all you got. And I'm like, wait, so what the fuck am I gonna wash? Like,
How am
how
I
is
gonna?
this gonna work? Like, I don't. And I'm like, what about conditioner? Yeah, that's
Oh,
just not happening. So we're like this, right?
yeah.
With our little shit. And so we're all touching like boobs and asses and yep, all squishing
hmm
together. And they had the first person go in, right?
Yeah.
Turned all the showers on. All of them on, right?
Yeah.
And then they got to the back of the line, right? And then they started, and then you literally ran through each of the water, and you're trying to do like this tummy rub, head rub, fucking pet
That's great.
thing
Yeah.
to wash your hot spots, and that was it.
Yeah.
And then you had to get dressed in less than 5 minutes, and we're
Jeez.
like,
Like a car
the
wash.
fuck. I still got fucking soap in my hair. I'm
Yeah.
soaking wet.
Ugh.
They said we can't use a towel because it takes up too much time.
There you go. They got to break you
And
down so
then,
that way you're programmable machines. That's
yep, yep. So, anyway, fast forward AIT. That was 12 weeks. I did
good times though.
12 and a half weeks in Fort Gordon.
Yeah. Builds
Um,
character. Builds character. It absolutely
yeah,
does. Yeah.
yeah, it does. We did ruck marches. Well, in basic and AIT, we did ruck marches, of course.
Mhm.
We did a couple 13 miles, a couple 20 miles, overnighters. Yeah, met some of the greatest people and some of the worst people in the military,
Yeah, real talk.
actually.
Absolutely. I've met some
Fact.
people who I mean, I met a guy who's like a brother to me. I was his best man at his wedding. Like his son and my son used to play in the bathtub together. You know, we still talk to this day. You know, we call each other brother and stuff. I'm
Yeah.
I'm white as snow and he's black as coal, and it doesn't make a difference. You know. But then I've met some people in the military too that like
Yeah.
owe me
I would
thousands of
run over them with
dollars.
my own fucking Humvee
They
if they were shot right now.
they've
I'm just kidding.
stolen from me. You know, like you
Yeah.
get each end of the
Terrible
spectrum.
people.
Absolute horrible human beings. Horrible human
Horrible.
beings.
Yeah. Awful. But
Yeah.
good. I always say it's the best of times, the worst of times because it really was.
hmm
Like the honor is still there regardless.
Yeah.
Whether I hated the military for what they did to my family
hmm
in my life, but I also am eternally grateful and I would never ever accept anyone talking shit about them.
Absolutely.
Any branch.
You don't.
Unless we're doing it.
Yeah.
Then that's cool.
You
But
haven't earned that right to talk shit.
yeah,
My
yeah.
opinion.
And
My opinion.
I have anyone's back who ever
Yeah.
served. It's an unwritten rule in your soul
Yeah.
that you have to honor.
Yeah.
You have to.
Can't talk about it too
And
much. We swore not to, secret council stuff, so.
yeah, right, secret council. So sorry, my bad. So anyway, I digress.
Yeah. So you said you went
Yeah.
to Fort Leonard Wood? That's where
No,
or
Fort Sill.
Fort Seal. Sorry, excuse me. There's
Yeah,
so many
yeah, yeah.
forts that
I know.
it's hard to keep track. I went to Fort Lee.
That was in
So
Oklahoma.
I was in the Marine Corps and I went to an Army fort for my MOS school. So there's
Fort
forts
Meade?
Lee, Lee.
Oh,
Lee
Fort Lee,
in
Virginia.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah.
I went to
I
quartermaster
used to
school out there.
call there because we had to connect to a base and home before we could make a call home.
Yeah.
Or to the States.
Yeah.
So that's actually the one I would use the most because they were
Oh, Fort Lee?
very like I knew all the operators at the time that we would call and it was great.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah.
So AIT, September 11th. Let's talk about that
Yeah.
for a minute.
Oh yeah. You were active duty. Yeah. How was September 11th for you? That's got to
Oh, my
be
goodness.
insane.
So I was in the last part of my AIT. So September, I was at the end, actually, the very end, because my duty station was that month. Like I was going to be graduating soon from AIT
Hmm.
because when did I get to my duty station? It was either September, the end of September, the beginning of October is when I got to my duty station. So we were at the very end. We were the class that was going to graduate soon when that happened. So we were just kind of buttoning things up with our testing and stuff for our training. And we were sitting in class. The instructor was standing. I remember it, fuck, so vividly. Like the desks. Um, I don't remember what he was talking about, but I remember my instructor. Like I can picture the whole scenario, and somebody bursts into the room
Yeah.
and says they just blew up the Pentagon, and we're like, what? So we all, of course, run out, and we're all filing into the only fucking TV that they had.
Yeah.
It was probably like this big, one of those old box TVs.
Yeah. No cell phones yet.
And there was probably 65 people crammed in this room for 30 people. It
Yeah.
was such a small classroom. It was like the audio video room or some shit. I don't know.
Yeah. 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 Just
And
a
there was
room that
people
had a TV.
sitting down, like cross-legged on the ground, and then like just standing in the back. People peeking in the door, and we're watching, and it shows one of the towers and just rubble falling and people screaming, and then all of a sudden this other plane we see, they zoom in on it and it hits the other tower, and we're like, what the fuck? Like you could hear a pin drop. It was insane. It was fucking insane. It didn't seem real. It seemed like it was a fucking Die Hard movie or something. We're like,
Yeah.
is this really happening? So I know I was thinking like, what? This isn't real. This is bullshit. But nobody said a word. Nobody said not a single fucking thing.
Yeah.
And so we saw the Pentagon. We saw the damage just all over New York. And then we had MPs come in, and armed MPs, fully loaded, locked and ready to go, escort us to our barracks. And there was alarms and horns going off, and we were on lockdown. They shut down the base. They closed the gates.
Yeah.
Didn't matter who was in, who was out. You weren't coming in if you were trying to come in. If you were trying to go out, you weren't going out. It was it. It didn't matter if you were civilian. It didn't matter if you were military, lived off base, on base. It didn't matter. If you were trying to come in or off, it wasn't happening. So they had armed gates. They had a tank set up on all the gates.
Wow.
And we had armed guards outside of our entrances of our barracks. It was crazy. We weren't allowed to go anywhere.
Yeah.
We ate MREs that first night. We ate MREs. They wouldn't let us out of the barracks at all.
Yeah.
And then the next day, once they got, things a little calmed down, they let us go to the chow hall.
Yeah.
But it was under armed guard the
Sure.
whole time, two in front, two in back, and the entire our unit went together. Our basic training group went together, or AIT. And it was nuts. It was like that for a few weeks before, actually the last few weeks of our training. We weren't allowed off post.
Yeah.
It was nuts. But then finally they would allow, the back and forth of personnel that needed to be there, but no civilians were allowed whatsoever. If they didn't need to be there, like if they didn't directly work for the base, they weren't allowed to be there. No visiting, no spouses, no children, no nothing. It's nuts. This is a whole other scenario. Crazy.
Yeah, I wasn't pre 9/11 military, but I can only imagine the way the 9/11 attack impacted the military, because I've seen it afterwards, and it's gates are a lot stricter and stuff like that. So I can only imagine,
yeah,
kind of what it was like beforehand. Like I think it was like a less serious military because you were like, we're training just in case
It
something
was
happens, and then all of a
it
sudden
was
something
definitely more
happened.
lax.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So now it's like we're training because of 9/11. So because
Mhm.
of this one event, like this shaped the way our military kind of like conducts itself,
Right.
and it's
Yeah,
crazy.
absolutely.
Yeah, I can't imagine like being on base, going through training, or being personnel as well, and then
Yeah.
an attack happen on American soil. It's
Yeah, I mean, if you look at it from the guards' perspective, like now that I didn't really think about it then, but looking back, they weren't allowed to go home and see their families if they were on base. They couldn't find out if they were safe.
yeah,
They didn't know what was happening with them, and their family didn't know. And I just I feel like I had it easy just being in training, and these people weren't allowed to go home, and
yeah,
yeah, what the families went through, it's insane. But you
yeah.
don't think about that shit when you're there, just like when you're deployed. You don't think
Absolutely
about
not.
all the shit that could happen. You just think about what
Um,
is happening and you move
in the
on,
moment, yeah. Well, number one priority is taking care of yourself, and then you don't have time to reflect on other people who are outside of that initial bubble where you are.
Yeah,
So it
definitely.
impacts a lot of people, but you don't have time to kind of focus on those kind of things of like somebody in their family or their kids or whatever, because you're worried about whatever's going on in your small little
Right.
circle right here. So
Yep.
it is insane. All right, so that's where you went to. That's where you did your training.
Yeah.
Where'd you go after that? Where was your
My
first duty station?
duty station. Oh boy. Fort Stewart, Georgia.
Ooh,
Third ID.
mm,
I got my hat right here.
yeah, I've seen it a few times. There you go. Yeah, repping
Yep,
it.
third ID. Rock
Absolutely.
of the Marn. We had to sing that dog face soldier song every morning. Oh my god. So I get to my duty station. My unit wasn't there though because they were still coming back from Bosnia. They had
Mm,
a deployment to Bosnia um, for a few months
yeah.
or six months, I think, or 8 months. And so there was only a few people there, like the orderly room, the front office personnel, and
Mhm.
a few other people who, like the pregnant soldiers, excuse,
Yeah.
or
The bare bones
just
crew,
the
the
team that
skeleton
stayed
crew.
back. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So they got me situated and set up, and then the unit started coming back, and that's when I started meeting everyone, and um, I'll never forget my first team chief. Um, Sergeant Cunningham was his name. Uh, best team chief I ever had. To this day, he. So let me go back to my job here for a
Sure,
moment.
sure.
But I was on what's called a super sen, small extension node. So how it worked is, um, and they have different equipment now, so I'm not telling any secrets. But um, we would put up the antenna, right, and we would be attached to a unit that we would provide internet, phones, secured and unsecured, to that unit. So we'd set up, get the signal into our node center. We would run the cable to their phones, to their tents, or where have you,
Yeah.
for their phones and their internet, depending on if it was secured or unsecured. And we would basically be like the operators for them.
Mhm.
If they had trouble with their call or they were trying to place a call, we would be able to do that from our shelter. So that's what a super sen was called, small extension node.
Mhm.
Um, a regular sen, they're all called sens, but they would be attached to the node center. So the node center was basically the brain or the hub where we would get our signal from, and we're able to provide the internet from them. So it was like a spider web. So here's
Sure. Yeah.
the heart, right, or the brain, and then all these other little shelters would be out there attached to different units. So there was only two or three super sens, the rest were just regular,
Mhm.
to where they would have to be near the node center in order to give that unit support.
Yeah. Okay.
Um, so we would be out. we were attached to Aviation Brigade the first time. The second time we were, um, they didn't need our team specifically, so they retrained us, but that's a different part of the story.
Sure.
Um, but yeah, so that's how we would work. So, anyway, when I got there, he was the team chief of the small extension node team where I was put, and he was completely against a female because there was 4 guys and me.
Mm-hmm.
And he was well, him, it was Sergeant Cunningham, it was fuck, I can't remember their names now, it's been so long. Um Specialist Hairston and the fuck is his name?
You can picture their
Specialist
faces, but their
I
names
can, I
like
can.
right
Specialist
over
Guillermo?
your head. It just
Right, right.
yeah,
And
I get
fuck,
yeah
what's the
all the
last
time.
guy's
Yeah.
name? Specialist or PFC Ramirez.
Mm.
So it was Ramirez, Guillermo, Hairston, and Cunningham was my team chief, and me. So it was the 4 of us and my team chief.
Yeah.
So he was like, no, I'm not. He was talking to the platoon sergeant. He's like, I'm not having a female on my team. Absolutely not. No.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, who was our platoon sergeant Day? What's his name? Sergeant Day and staff sergeant. He was like, no, like you are getting, this is your trooper. This is what we've assigned you. You don't have a choice. Everything else is taken.
Mm-hmm.
You know, this is the MOS that she has, and this is where she belongs.
Yeah.
And he was completely adamant about not having me on the team because he'd never had a female on his team before. He didn't know how to deal with it. Because even though I was a support MOS, there still was not a whole lot of females in that unit.
Yeah.
I was one of maybe 10 out of 150.
Oh, wow.
So there wasn't a whole lot, maybe 15 out of 150. I don't know. But there wasn't a lot of us.
Yeah.
Because there was in my AIT, there was 5 in my basic training, 5 females. That's it. Out of 65.
Jeez.
Yep.
That's
So even though it was support, there wasn't a whole lot of females, and he was completely against it.
Yeah.
Because he just didn't know, not because he was against women, he just didn't know how to treat women in the military.
It's completely different.
Yeah, he just didn't know.
Yeah.
So he treated me like one of the guys. He's like, hey, you, or what would he call me? New Jack. He called me New Jack a lot.
Is there
or F and G?
Well,
A fucking new guy.
yeah. Is there a reason why he called you New Jack? I kind of want to know now.
No, because he would always say they're new and jacked up, so that's why he called them New
Okay.
Jacks.
That makes sense. Yeah. I didn't know specifically, but I was like, oh, there's got to be some reason. I've never heard that one before.
Yeah.
That's why.
Yeah, New Jack. He called me everything but my name.
Yeah.
He didn't want to call me my name. He didn't want to get attached because he wanted to get rid of me at first thing.
Yeah.
So I felt like, and even through basic training in AIT, I feel like I have something to prove because I didn't want to be one of those females that was like, oh, I can't do it. Or,
Yeah.
I can't. Like, it's
Yeah,
too
absolutely.
heavy.
Yeah.
So when it came to the physical fitness portion, like, I get it. I'm not as strong as a male. I'm not as
Sure.
fast as a male. There are women that are and faster.
Absolutely.
But generally speaking, women are not as strong or can be as fast.
Mhm.
Generally speaking, again, if I offend you, fuck off.
Yeah.
So, but when it came to the job, that's something that I took very seriously because that has nothing to do with gender.
Yeah.
Nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing. How you do your job has nothing to do with gender, unless it's special forces, which I don't want to get into.
Sure.
I don't believe that women should be in special forces, but whatever.
I'm right there with you.
That's my personal opinion. It's
Yeah.
my personal opinion. And it took me a long time to go there with my mind, but it's fine. So he did not want anything to do with me. He didn't want to get attached. He didn't want to say my name. He didn't want anything to do with me. So I had something to prove, and I was going to prove it, damn it. So my boots, I kept as shiny as glass. My uniform, I always had it pressed. If I couldn't have it sent out, I would have it pressed. Yeah, but he turns out to be the best one ever. I swear to God.
Yeah.
So,
Tough love.
yeah. So he would smoke us all the time for doing nothing or anything, or just because he was in a bad mood. And he would get reamed about nothing that we did. And he would be pissed off, and he's like, I'm just pissed off. I can't just beat your face until I'm tired. Fuck. Is this
Yeah.
basic training again? So we do it.
Yeah.
And we were very tight knit. There was other teams, but our team was the best, of course. But not only was our team did we think was the best and was one of the best of our unit, we were the most cohesive and tight knit. So
Yeah.
if anybody talked bad about any of us, each of us had our backs. Even the team chief, like, he got to the point where he's like, listen, I can bag on my troop. You're not going to bag on my troop. Back off.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, that's my troop. Even though, they may be a dirtbag or whatever, don't bag on my troop.
Yeah, that's my shit bag,
I
not
honored
yours.
that. Yeah.
Yeah, I get that.
And so when he said we had to do something, we had to do something. It was it. There was no other option. So when comes to qualifications or certifications for our team, getting the signal ends, because when we did certifications, it was timed, and we had to do camo and everything. And if anybody's ever worked with for real camo, it's a pain in the dick because it gets caught on fucking everything. Everything it gets caught on. The buttons of your uniform. You had to flip your uniform. So we got to the point where we would flip our shirts inside out, because we had the BDUs back then.
Yeah.
We'd flip our shirts inside out and make sure all the buttons were covered because it had the flap or whatever.
Yeah.
And tuck our pockets in. If we wore not tuck them in, button them. They'd have to be buttoned. But we wouldn't wear tops. Like, we would ask specifically not to wear our BDU tops. It would just be tan shirts. If we couldn't, then we'd roll up the sleeves. But
yeah,
it was a pain in the dick putting that camo up. But we would do it, and we would be faster than everyone. We would qualify and certify faster than any of the other teams. And that was the standard that we were held to. And that's the standard that he had in the platoon and in the unit. And I didn't want to not live up to that.
Yeah.
So once he started seeing, long story short, once he started seeing that I was going to put that effort in, and I was going to lift the cable by myself, that was a 2 or 3 man lift, but I was going to get it up there by myself using whatever leverage I could, because we didn't have the time for one of the guys to help me or, help me do my portion of the job. It was my portion. When I was pounding that ground rod in for our grounding of our generator and our shelter, it was me.
Yeah.
Pounding this big old log, rod in. That was me. I did it.
Yeah.
Because that was my job. And if I couldn't do it, then I would be the weakling. But
yeah, once he saw you as more of an equal than a detriment.
That I could do it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
that's good.
So then he started calling me Troop all the time. That's all he would call me, is Troop. And that's what he would call everybody. Like, he wouldn't say our names. He would just call you Troop. Hey, Troop. Hey, Troop.
Yeah.
But if the camaraderie and the cohesiveness of our team was the best, and other people would be jealous of what we had.
Yeah.
Because it was to the point where if our platoon sergeant, because he was our team chief, Sergeant Cunningham, was very opinionated. And if it was bullshit, he would tell the platoon sergeant that it was bullshit. And of course, he would have to beat his face, right? He would have to do push-ups. So Sergeant Cunningham was the type of guy who would explain himself, get in trouble, get in the front lane and rest, and still continue explaining himself while he's doing push-ups. And if he ever had to do push-ups, we were automatically 100% doing push-ups. It didn't matter how long he was down there, how many he had to do. If our team chief was beating his face because of something he did, we were right there with him. And it didn't matter where in the position in the platoon we were, where we were at. It didn't matter if we were walking up. It didn't matter what happened. If he was totally in the wrong, if he was beating his face, so were we.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, it's because you guys were a team
Yeah.
at that point. So
Yeah. And I mean, people would say, why would you do that? Because that's my team chief.
Yeah.
If he's doing push-ups, then I'm gonna do push-ups. I'm not gonna be standing while he's down there.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah. And it got to the point where, I mean, that was on the daily, and nobody understood why we did it. And we were the only team to do it.
Yeah.
None of the other teams really did that. And it would piss our platoon sergeant off so bad because we would he would never tell us not to. Like, he would never give us an order not to do it.
Yeah.
But he would say, "You best stand fast." Like,
Yeah.
"Don't do it." And we do it anyway. He's like, "God."
Well, that's because you guys were an actual team. Where,
Yeah, we were a family. Yeah, we were
absolutely.
a family. And it it showed. But when we deployed,
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, we went on many deployments, and CONUS and OCONUS, CONUS is stateside, OCONUS is, I believe, outside of the US, but
Yeah.
we did many deployments, we did many field exercises. So that first year was basically us getting ready to go to Iraq because of what happened September 11th, because they knew it was coming. So we were constantly drilling. We were out in the field probably of the month, 3 weeks of the month. There was 1 week that we were back
Yeah.
for months and months. And we would be out for a week and a half, 2 weeks. We'd come back for a shower, and that was it. But yeah, we were gone a lot. And then we went to NTC, which is the National Training Center in Fort Irwin, California. And we were there for, I want to say, a month and a half, 2 months training, because it has very, very similar terrain as Iraq.
Yeah. It's a very
So
similar climate to what you
yeah.
find in the Middle East.
So that's why we would train there, and we would train as a team, and we got to be the best. And whenever it was great, because whenever the commander needed something or needed the shot in, as an example, or if somebody higher up, the brass was coming, we were the team that would put in the signal, put in the shot, get the phones up, because they wanted the best.
Yeah.
And that's what we would give them. And he knew that. Everyone knew that of Sergeant Cunningham. Everybody knew he was the best. And his team, because of how he ran it, was the best. It wasn't us. It was him.
Yeah.
He would say the other way around, but
Well, you guys are the way you carry yourselves, you're a reflection of what he has instilled in you and taught you, so the way you guys represented him the way he represented himself. So it's a very, you took the positives from him as a military leader, is just as yours, he was your military leader. You took the best parts of him, and it reflected in what you guys did by, doing push-ups with them, being the first one always done, being the team that they called when they needed shit to get done efficiently and in a short amount of time. So it was definitely, I don't think you give yourself enough credit, because he could see it in you guys, obviously.
Yeah. It was, I mean, it was hands down my best time in the military was under him.
Yeah.
And at him as my team chief. I say he didn't die. Nothing happened to him. He did get reassigned. He PCS'd after 3 years. We were very sad. We were very upset. But I think it was 3 years or 2 years. It was after our first deployment. Was he even on our first deployment? I think he had to leave. Something happened, and he was going to go, and then or he was there, but he had to come back. I can't remember. So much shit. But
Yeah.
The second in command, who was Specialist Guillermo, he had to take over, I think, after he left, because we didn't have a team chief at that time.
Yeah.
But he was about to be promoted anyway, so he was just going to take over the team.
That's good.
So he's hopefully still alive somewhere. He's a lifer.
Yeah. So you brought up deployments. So you were getting ready for your first deployment. And then, so you,
Yep.
I'm assuming you went to Iraq because that's the hot spot at the time.
Yeah. So we trained my team was Advon. So we went Advon just means you're leaving
Yep.
before the rest of the
So
unit.
I was as well. Yeah.
Yeah, so it was just our trucks. So we had a truck to and there was no up armored, guys. This was
Yeah.
2002, 2003 when right before Bush declared war and we bombed Baghdad. Um there was no up armored. We had soft shelled we had
Boy,
a soft shelled cargo truck.
it's rough.
Um and which is what I drove. Um I drove my team chief. No, Ramirez drove the cargo truck. I got promoted to the Sen, so I drove the Sen
Mm.
with the team chief, and um, it was the best. It was the best. But we, so we had our cargo truck. Basically, we had our two shelters. So we had three trucks, and then the generator. We'd had two generators that we'd pull behind the shelters, just
Yeah.
in case. We had one as a backup.
Sure.
Um, and then this actually, since we only needed the one shelter, we used the second one as our basically our storage for our equipment.
Hmm.
So if we needed to change out any equipment,
Yeah.
we would have it there in that second truck. And that's where we put all our MREs. We stocked it full of water, and things like that. So we were good to go. All our gear was in there.
Yeah.
It was perfect. It was a perfect setup.
Yeah.
So
Anything you could possibly think of that you needed,
yeah,
you had it
right.
over there. Yeah.
So we didn't have to go through all the shit that everybody else did the first time,
Sure.
because we went on a C-130 or C-5, I'm sorry.
Hmm.
So it was just our three trucks,
Yeah.
right?
Living in a
Us,
lap of luxury.
it was the five of us, because we had gotten another teammate, and I can't remember his name for the life of me, but um, there was the five of us and the crew, and that was it, going over. And these C5s are huge. They're huge. They're bigger than the C-130s. I'm
Hmm.
pretty sure it's a C5. So the belly of the plane is where they kept all our trucks, and then we'd go up this really tiny staircase, right? It was almost like a ladder. And on the top would be like it was like a commercial plane on the top. It had just seats, rows and rows of seats, and then it was like the cockpit and they had whatever storage in the back, and that was it. So we had our pick of all the seats. It was great. It was fabulous. So we get there and nobody knows what to do with us. It was a fucking clusterfuck. That's what the military doesn't tell you. It's a fucking clusterfuck
Yeah.
when you're the first ones anywhere, it's a clusterfuck.
Hmm.
So
Absolutely.
nobody really even knew we were coming. We were supposed to be supporting someone, but we had no clue. There was nothing there. There was one fucking tent in Kuwait where we ended up pulling up to, and one big white tent, and there was nothing else. It was surrounded by some concrete barricades, and then it was desert for as long as the eye could see.
Yep.
So we were just kind of like,
What do we do now?
yeah. So we were there for a good couple of weeks. We
Yeah.
would pull guard duty.
Sure.
They called it the country kitchen, is what they called it. It was basically a civilian / military food center
Yeah.
that we would have to pull guard duty on.
Yeah.
And that's what we did. Yeah, hurry up and wait.
Absolutely.
That's what we did for so we got there December is when we rolled out. December of 2002. And we were there right before Christmas. So it was my first Christmas away from home, which was very, very difficult.
Mm.
I didn't think it would be, but it was pretty hard.
Yeah.
And funny story. Well, not funny. We were getting used to the locals that would come in through the gates and stuff. And they knew it was Christmas. I was pulling guard duty at the country kitchen on Christmas Day and Christmas Eve. And these guys came in locals. I'm just gonna call them locals. If I have a slip of the tongue, I apologize. We used to call them different things.
Yeah, we
I
used to
know
call
it's
them
offensive.
TCNs, third country nationals. That way we
Uh,
didn't. I know where you're going with that. So
yeah. So I'm trying not to say it,
yeah, the
but
locals. I get you.
the
Yep.
locals, yeah.
Yeah.
So these locals came in, and some of them liked us there. A lot of them didn't. A lot of them didn't want us there,
Yeah. Absolutely.
and they would spit at us, or especially me being female, they thought we were dirty. Um, they wouldn't give us the time of day. They
Sure.
wouldn't even look in my direction. Um, they would spit at us for real. I got spit at many times. But there were some that appreciated what we were doing and why we were there. And anyway, these group of guys, we got to know them pretty well because they were local. They would come in and do deliveries or whatnot. And they showed up and they had little Christmas socks, little Christmas stockings, right?
Yeah.
The ones you get at the Dollar Tree, the little.
Yeah.
So they had like candy canes and some other, fun things like little dominoes or like American stuff that they thought we'd like.
Yeah.
And it was probably one of the best Christmases I can remember because these people they don't I don't think they celebrate Christmas like we do. And for them to take time out of their day or to just think of this thing to do for these troops, whether they had an ulterior motive or not, I don't believe they did, but it was pretty cool. It was pretty cool. And I have a picture. I'll have to find it and send it to you, Vop, but I have a picture of me holding my Christmas gift with my M16
That's
because it
great.
was unsafe. It was loaded,
Yeah.
but it was unsafe.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm holding my Christmas sock with my M16 and I'm like smiling.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Those were the days.
Yeah,
The good
absolutely.
days.
You never realize how little interactions like that have such a big impact in your life. Um, I was sitting down with a guy I was in the smoke pit. Um, I was a cook, and overseas they don't need cooks. So I did a lot of stuff that a cook should not be doing because I was trained, but I wasn't like trained. Like
Yeah.
I didn't spend years doing the training. I spent about 3 months, and that was it. A lot of like on the job training type stuff,
Oh yeah.
which is very
That's how any MOS is. Like I didn't
yeah.
learn my job until I got to my duty station. Yeah, we did tests and shit, but that's not the same.
Yeah, absolutely. But it's one
Mhm.
of those things of like, oh man, hey, you were supposed to check that corner. If somebody would have been standing there, you'd probably be dead type stuff. And I'm like,
Right.
oh, yeah, I will remember that for next time because I
Right.
like living. Like I like being here. And but anyways, we were sitting in the smoke pit, and this guy broken English. Like I was struggling trying to understand him, but me being the person I am, I gave him that opportunity to like, okay, practice your English. I'll sit here. I'm smoking anyways.
Yeah.
I'm either gonna smoke in silence or you're gonna try to talk to me. He tried to
Yeah.
talk to me and everything, and then, he kind of was like, thank you, and walked away, and I'm like, all right, whatever. And I finished smoking and stuff, and then some random guy I didn't know who he was came up to me and he was like, hey, were you the one who was talking to I can't remember the guy's name in the
Mhm.
smoke pit? I said, yeah, that was me. He said he didn't know how to say thank you, but that was his first conversation in English. And
Oh wow.
I was like, whoa, man, we're in Iraq. You can make me cry right now. I was like, oh, thank you. All right, well, I've got to go. And I'm just walking away, and I'm like, like, all right, clear, like clear
Man.
myself because like you never realize how those little moments will like stick with you forever. Just
Yeah.
because somebody's trying to do like they're just trying to be nice to you. So
Yeah.
it makes it worth it. So that's such a great story.
It was really good.
That's awesome. Yeah. That's such I'm glad that they did that for you. Because when you're in a place where you don't want to be and you're standing guard duty on Christmas, like
Yeah.
it doesn't get much more worse than standing guard duty on Christmas wherever you are, especially in another country. And the fact that
Right.
they kind of took their time and they tried to celebrate the way that Americans do, like
Mhm.
that's awesome. That's good.
Yeah, I thought it was really
That's such
cool.
a good story. That's awesome. That's great. So yeah,
They're not all
Christmas.
good.
Absolutely. Trust me, I've got some other ones
But
that
you gotta
I
focus
can't
on the
say
good
on
ones.
here because
Yeah,
yeah,
you gotta focus on the good ones.
absolutely. That's what you got to do.
So,
Absolutely.
we did a few weeks of that pretty much in limbo because nobody knew what to do with us, and we finally our unit got there
Hmm.
right before Bush declared war. Um, I can't remember what day it was. I think it was in March
Yeah.
of 2003 is when it was declared. So everybody was there. We were stationed, ready to go. There was this one tent. When my unit got there, we got that tent, and then we got another tent. And then eventually, like 2 weeks before it was our time to go, because we didn't know when we were gonna go. Um, they were just like, okay, you gotta get for the Air Force, and we're like, what the fuck? Yeah, the Air Force needs a tent. So y'all are gonna station out in Kuwait right outside the berm because you're gonna get ready to go anyway.
Mm.
We're like, what? So we
Yeah.
had to get out of the tents and we were just basically on our backs.
Ugh. The Air
I will
Force.
I will never. That's the one time I set up a cot. I never did it again. Cots are bullshit. I've
Cots are
been
bullshit.
beaten up by cots so many times. Fuck
Hmm.
a cot. I'll rather
Yeah.
sleep on the
Yeah.
ground
Cots are
or
bullshit.
on the truck or in the truck.
Hmm.
Like,
Yeah.
I ain't setting up no fucking cot after that.
No.
That was terrible.
Yeah.
So,
They bite you all over the place, and then
oh my god.
it's like you're like, I've got this. All I've got to do is muscle this last corner, and that is like the
Always
strongest
the last
thing in the
corner.
world.
Fuck. And you're like, what the hell is it caught on something?
Yeah,
Jesus.
exactly. You
So
like
then
take it
you know what
apart,
you
put it
do?
back, like
You know what you do? You just bloop, put it, fuck putting it in. You just put it over, lay it over the front
yeah, just
or the back. That was it.
fuck it
But
at
yeah,
this
I didn't
point.
set up a cot after that.
Yeah,
So,
no way.
but
Cots are
I did
horrible.
have a cot. I set my cot up right next to my truck. And this was right before we bombed Baghdad. And we didn't know when it was coming. So being in a signal unit, not knowing shit is kind of counterproductive. That's why they call military
Yeah.
intelligence kind of like, what? Is that a thing?
Yeah.
Because they don't know. We'd been getting Scud attacked, or Scud warnings. Because all over Kuwait we were getting bombed with Scuds for Saddam.
Yeah.
And we didn't know where the next one was gonna hit. So we would get warnings in the middle of the night. Gas, and then we'd have
Sure.
to
Yeah.
Don our masks and our protective gear and whatnot. So, anyway, this is the moment, the first time that I knew I was gonna die, and it seems kind of silly now, but at the time, we didn't know. So, do you remember seeing in the news the bombs going over Baghdad, the orange streaks in the sky?
Yeah.
I was in Kuwait when that happened.
Mhm.
Right on the edge of Kuwait and Iraq. We didn't know when it was going to happen. We just knew it was going to happen eventually. But we had been getting Scud warnings also throughout the evening, or throughout the weeks. So this one time, I remember laying on my cot, and I'm looking up. I'm looking at the sky, right? Because it's just vast sky. There's no light pollution. It's completely dark. We weren't allowed to walk anywhere unless we were using our red lens and our flashlight.
Yep.
Because it was tactical.
Sure. Yeah.
So I'm looking up at the sky and I see an orange streak come across the sky. I was like, oh, a shooting star. That's cool, right?
Nope.
And then I see another one. I was like, that's fucking weird. And then I see another one and another one. And then I see a streak, and it looks like it's coming right for us because we're in the middle of what's going on. They're bombing over us, but it absolutely 100% looked like it was coming towards us.
Mhm.
So I was like, well, fuck. There's like just thousands of orange dots in the sky, right? And I flip over and my heart is pounding so fast. I'm like, what the fuck? Like, what? And like all of this shit is going through your head at once. I froze. So you know that fight, flight, freeze?
Yep.
I froze. I'm not ashamed of it. Nobody knows what you're gonna do until you're in that position.
Absolutely.
And I was like, it's not like some guy with a gun or a guy with a knife or something I can shoot at. It's fucking bombs.
What are you gonna do?
Thousands of bombs. What the fuck are you gonna do with that?
Yeah,
What are you gonna do?
absolutely. Yeah.
You got
Yeah.
nowhere to go.
Yeah.
I got my truck that is not gonna withstand a fucking blast of that magnitude. No fucking way.
Absolutely not.
So like heart pounding out of my chest, and then nothing. Like totally calm. I'm like, I'm gonna die. And there's nothing I can do about it. There's people running around. So right about that time when I'm panicking on the inside, right?
Yeah.
There's people running around. I hear the alarms go off for the Scud attack. And I'm like, this is it. I'm gonna fucking die. And when the alarms go off, that's when I was like, fuck, this is it. And I got calm. I was so calm I could like write a note home. Like everything's fine. I'll be all right. You know?
Yeah. You're at peace with
And
it, and that's where it comes from.
yeah, and there's people like running around.
Yeah.
Oh
It's
my god. This
yeah.
is even a report for me.
Yeah. It's it's hard for some people to accept that fact, especially when you're, 18, 19, 20-year-old, where you're just like, look, this could be it. We got
Yeah.
mortared when I was in Ramadi, and we were outside, and I worked at a class 1 lot at the time, and we legit were taking fire. We were the closest Marines to the city of Ramadi, and
Yeah.
they fucked up with Ramadi, because if Ramadi's here, oh shit, you can't see me. If Ramadi's at the bottom, at the base is at the bottom, the town is in an elevated position, so you're kind of just
Right.
fucked at that point. And
Yeah.
they started mortaring us, and everybody's running around and freaking out, and they were like, oh, get in these the trailers, the cargo trailers or whatever.
Oh, right.
I can't remember what
Yeah,
they're called.
that's gonna help.
And they're like, oh, just get in there and hide. And I said, for what? If one of these mortars go off, And they're like yelling at me, and I pull out my cigarettes and I light a cigarette, and I'm like, fuck, if I'm gonna die, at least, in a smoke. I looked at my buddies and I was like, yo, I love you guys. And they were like, can I get a cigarette? And I was like, you don't smoke. And they're like, well, fuck it.
Fuck
Like,
yeah.
yeah. So
But
yeah, it's scary. It's absolutely scary. I totally,
yeah, when you don't
totally
know,
get
but
it.
then
You never know. Yeah,
I
absolutely.
mean, just people running. It's the funny part looking back. Here's the funny part in all this.
Yeah.
My team chief, uh, Guillermo, ended up being our team chief. He comes out of the shelter because the guys were all sleeping in the shelter because bunch of pussies. Just kidding, they weren't, but they just happened to be sleeping in the shelter, and I
Sure,
don't
sure.
like enclosed spaces, so I don't like to be in the shelter that much. So any chance I got out of the shelter. So
Yeah.
that was on me. But he came running out to get his gear, right? His gas mask and stuff. And like and ran back in. Didn't even say nothing to me, right?
Yeah.
Nothing. And I see like people just running around like waving their arms, and
They don't know what to do. I mean, what do you
saw
do
a
in a
lieutenant
what do you do in a
like
position like that?
balled up on the ground crying, and
Yeah.
people that you wouldn't think panicking like that, just running around with their hair on fire. Like what?
Absolutely.
But you can't judge. Like you don't know until you're in that position. And
Absolutely. Yeah.
anyway, it was fucking nuts. So we found out it wasn't after it seemed like hours. It seemed like it wasn't, or we got the call that it wasn't, and we needed to get in our full battle rattle and our mop suits
Ugh.
and get ready to go over the berm.
Yeah.
And that's what we did. We had we didn't have our gas masks on, but we had the full gear. And mind you, it's getting into summertime
Ugh.
in Iraq.
Ugh.
So full mop gear, boots, pants, top, no mask, hood. It's fucking 115 degrees, right? Oh boy. It was hot. So when we
Boy,
going over the
boy.
berm, and when we're going over the berm, we could see all these tanks that were blown up from Desert Storm.
Yeah.
We saw all the blown up vehicles, ours and theirs, and mostly theirs though. We cleaned up most of ours, but there was like bits and pieces.
Mhm.
So 23 days we were in our mop suits. We eventually were allowed to take off our tops, so we were allowed to have our like PT shorts underneath,
Yeah.
with our mop suits, and then our brown t-shirts.
Yeah.
And we were allowed to take our tops off, so all we had was the suspenders holding up the mop bottoms and our
Yeah.
boots. And then we were allowed to have our tops off, so it was a lot cooler. But
For
it got to be so hot that we had to roll with our windows up, because if you had the window down, it felt like you had a fire in your face. It was so hot.
for those of you who don't know what mop suits are, so
Oh,
go
sorry.
go into no, you're fine. Go into your kitchen or wherever you keep your garbage bags. Put a garbage bag head to toe. Well, not your head, because I'm not promoting killing yourself. Neck down. Put it neck down, and then tape it together, and then go outside when it's the hottest, and you'll get an idea of what a mop suit is. It's
Yeah.
thicker than that, and it doesn't breathe. So
And it's not plastic, but it
yeah, it's
doesn't
not
breathe.
plastic.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's lined with charcoal on the inside, and
yes,
the exterior is like a very heavy cotton,
yeah,
with some protective like shit over
yeah.
it.
It's for chemical
And
warfare, so you don't
yeah,
get
it,
exposed to some chemical. Oh, super bright.
yeah.
It's exposed. It's so that way if
Oh,
you get
yeah.
exposed to
My dog.
chemicals, yeah.
Woo, woo, get out
uh,
of the
it's a sign. It must be a sign.
way.
Uh,
Yeah. Who do you want, Mom?
and yeah, it's a sauna suit. Basically, it's a sauna suit. So
Yeah.
put one of those on, tape the ends, put some boots on, and like winter gloves, and then just go do stuff,
Yeah.
and you'll get kind of an idea.
Kind of idea. Sauna suit.
Yeah, for what a
Right.
hazmat suit is. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Ooh.
Yeah. So 23 days we were driving. Um, we would stop to pull security, and not even just at night. We would stop to refill at different designated points along the way. And what here's a good story. At one point we stopped to um because I was like, all right, fuck this. I'm gonna use the camel the what do you call it? The buffalo, the
Mhm.
water buffalo, the big
Yep. Water
trailer with
buffalo.
the water on the back.
Yeah.
So we would get that filled up locally. I refused to drink that water. People were drinking it all day long. I'm like, no,
Good
fuck that.
idea.
I'll drink
Yeah.
bottled water.
Sure.
Yeah, but it's good. It's from Kuwait. I'm like,
Mm,
I'm not drinking local water. It ain't
yeah.
happening.
Yeah.
If it doesn't come out of a bottle that says sterilized in some kind of way, I ain't drinking it. I'm not. And my team refused to drink it. And we had every time we stopped, we'd fill up on water. So we always had water. We had cases and cases of water. People were running out. There were teams that didn't have any that had to use a water buffalo. Fuck that. We had enough to sustain ourselves for months without any help from anyone. And so I would always drink water. But I was like, you know what? I am going to use the water for this water buffalo. I'm going to wash my fucking hair. So I got a bucket, right? And I went over there and I was doing a quick wash, and I was like, oh man, that feels good. And then I had a guy come over that I knew from the unit that we were rolling with. And he's like, hey, you got any more shampoo? And I was like, yeah. He's like, oh, great. Can you wash my hair? Because nobody wants to touch themselves clean because their hands are caked with dirt. And even though mine, you deploy, you can't wash your hand. I mean, even though you wash your hands, they're never clean
Yeah, you can't get
because
clean. You're
all the
always
shit you
dirty.
do with them,
hmm
always, and it's just caked in. And nothing, no amount of baby wipes, no amount of water will get that shit out. Nothing. So you're in a constant state of dirty hands. And I tried my very hardest to keep them as clean as I could, but mine were still caked with dirt. But this guy worked
absolutely.
on, I think he was one of the gas guys or petrol or something.
Yeah, the
So
bulk fuel.
his hands were totally fucked.
Yeah.
And so he's like, hey, will you mind washing mine? And I was like, sure. So he brought a chair over, and I, used a little bit of soap, washed his hair, and he's like, oh, that feels great. So by the end of the night, I had a line of probably 20, 25 people lined up waiting for me to wash their
Yeah.
hair.
Yo, it's
That
the
was one
Rogue
of the good
Spa.
nights. Yeah.
The Rogue Spa. There you go.
Yeah, it was pretty awesome.
Making a business.
So that was a good story.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah. Good times.
We so we're halfway there, right? So we get halfway, and we're on our way to Biop, which is the Baghdad International Airport, which is where we were gonna stay for the remainder of our
Mhm.
stint there, deployment. we couldn't move right in because there was a couple of snipers still that they were trying to take care of at the airport. So we were only halfway there. Um, and we were actually traveling with the aviation brigade out of Fort it was station they're in near Savannah, Georgia. I can't
Mhm.
remember the fort. But it's an aviation brigade there.
Mhm.
Um, I think it starts with an H. I can't remember. But we were halfway there. So there was a lot of fighting in Baghdad and Biop still happening, along with these snipers, and there was a lot of casualties, civilian and military.
Yeah.
So where we were was almost half between the cache, which was the military hospital that they had full setup, that could do surgeries and stuff. We had medics with us and we had a medical convoy, but or a medical team, but it wasn't like anything like the cache. The cache was like the main medical place,
Yeah.
where you could do a lot of stuff you couldn't
What
do.
are they? It's like a
Yeah.
triage unit. It's just they take care of like life-threatening stuff to stabilize you and get you out. I'm far from the
No,
medical field. I don't.
the cache was our medical unit. Like that was
Oh, that
where
was the big.
surgeries
Oh,
happened.
okay.
That's
Okay.
before
The
you
other way
got
around.
sent to yeah, before you got sent
Okay.
home or to another hospital. That was the like the big one because
Okay.
they were back in the back. They were still in Kuwait or just over the berm.
Hmm. Hmm.
They weren't even anywhere near us, but it
Okay.
was halfway. So a helicopter could fly. Couldn't they didn't have enough gas to fly all the way from the cache to Baghdad at the time. That
Yeah.
was too far. So they had to stop, unload, and get on another chopper and fill up in the same thing. So they'd be constant birds coming back and forth.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
anyway, so we're there in the middle, and how it happened is we got the alarms going off, and they let us know that they were incoming. And the first load showed up. We did that for hours. The first load showed up, and it was like, you ever seen We Were Soldiers?
Love that movie.
It's kind of like that.
Yeah.
A little bit less blood,
Yeah.
um, because they would get patched up, but
Yeah.
pretty much like that.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
so they would come back, the birds would stop, we would unload injured upon injured civilian, military other side, it didn't matter. Um, the injured, we'd load them on stretchers or however we could onto the other birds and take them. They would take them back to the cache.
Yeah.
We did that for hours. Was so tired, but at the time, it's like just go go go.
Go,
You
go,
didn't have
go.
time to be tired,
Yeah.
right? You didn't have time to have muscle fatigue or to be
Yeah.
hungry or stop to get a drink of water. You just didn't have time. So
Yeah. You got a job to do. Other
yeah,
people's
so,
lives are counting on it, so you don't have time to
exactly.
be tired. Yeah.
Yeah. So another good story, one of my best stories, or moments in the military,
Mhm.
is this one bird comes in and it's got a kid. He's injured pretty bad. His dad's with him. His dad's all wrapped up. Some kind of head injury. He's bleeding. Um, he's burned, but his son's on the stretcher. Oh no. Are you still there?
Yeah, I'm still here. You're still here.
Oh, okay.
We're still
It was
good.
it was loading.
Oh,
Sorry.
no, 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 no,
Um,
no. You're
so
you're here.
it was clearly his son or his it had to be his son. I can't imagine a parent or any other person acting the way he did.
Yeah.
Didn't speak English, but we were trying to get him from that chopper to the other one. And Plum.
Plum, thank you, Plum.
And sorry. Um,
Yeah.
so we get him loaded up, the boy, and the crew chief says he can't go. The dad can't go because he's able-bodied and they can't carry anymore, right? And I can only imagine, like, I don't understand what this guy was saying. I didn't, but I can only imagine what he was trying to say, pleading with them, right,
Yeah.
to get him to let this son on board. So he's like, no, I can't carry anymore. No. The crew chief unbuckles himself, grabs his go bag, right?
Yeah.
Gets out and shoves the dad in his seat.
There we go. Yeah. What a dude.
He could have got court-martialed for that.
Yeah.
But I don't know what happened to him. I can't imagine anything really came down from that, because
Yeah.
what kind of douchebag brass would do anything for that guy? I mean, against that guy.
Yeah. Yeah. Somebody who never
But
wants to get
he could have
promoted.
been. He could
Yeah.
have been. But that was one
Yeah.
of the best moments
That's amazing. Yeah.
in Iraq, and it just shows how good people can be.
Yeah. Absolutely. It's you never quite understand how like how much the human heart can be open for people you don't even know. This guy basically gave up whatever he had going on. I mean, he could have been doing whatever, but you see somebody else who's in a worse position, and you just want to like
Yeah.
you
It
want
was
to
it was
you
pretty
want them to, because somebody's always got it worse than you. So
Yeah.
you want to kind of pass it along. And I've never met him, but like the term hero gets thrown around a lot for veterans,
Yeah.
but to me, those people are the heroes. They sacrifice.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, we sacrificed. I did a lot of dumb shit. I slept in holes.
Yeah.
I did shit, whatever. But like to
Yeah.
me, that's what makes somebody separates, just an average person an average military veteran or whatever. When you're on
Soldier from a hero.
Yeah,
Just
exactly.
I don't think because you're a soldier you're a hero. I think it's the
Yeah.
extraordinary things you do that makes you a hero.
Yeah, it takes you from one level
Honor, yes.
to another level. It puts you on a whole different platform because you're already willing to sacrifice your life, but then being in Iraq or any other place is shitty. And when you
Mhm.
put yourself worse off just to help somebody else, that's what
Yeah.
separates you and makes you a better person, in
Yeah.
my opinion. And it's my channel, so
It
that's
was
all that
pretty
matters.
awesome.
Yeah.
I'll never forget that. I never caught the guy's name. I never got
Yeah, it doesn't
I
matter.
don't know what happened to that kid and his dad. I'd like to think in my mind he was fine and they were reunited and the crew chief was able to find his team, but
There you go. Yeah,
you just don't know. But that's how I'm okay with it in my brain, because
yeah, that's amazing.
it's good begets good, and
Absolutely.
I wholeheartedly believe people are good deep down. And as much as I've gotten shit on and fucked over, I still believe that.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I mean, there's also some shitty things that went down, but
Yeah.
I like to focus on the good ones.
Absolutely.
So that was definitely a good one. Definitely one of the best.
So okay, so you made it, or so were transporting people from one chopper to another. So when did you get to your final? Did you have a final duty station on this first tour, or were you just bouncing around from like base
Well,
to
we
base
were
to base to base? Like,
yeah, BIOP was the final destination.
okay.
The Baghdad International Airport.
Mhm.
The aviation brigade didn't want to go in even after they said it was clear, and we're like, our team is already there. Our team is already there. We are going. So if you
Mhm.
want your internet and your phones, you're going with us because we're leaving.
Yeah, yeah.
So that pissed a lot of people off, the brass. But we got there finally. And mind you, it's been months, right? We've probably 6 to 7 months on the road. Going from Kuwait when we started to getting to BIOP. It's been months. Okay, only MREs. We hadn't had anything else to eat.
Yeah, that sucks.
Which, I mean, we're survived on, but
MREs suck, especially if
they
you eat
do
them for
suck.
months. Yeah. Oh
They do
boy,
suck.
I don't.
Yeah.
That sounds like the
Absolutely
worst
do.
part of the story right there. Is you ate MRE for months. Like,
Right?
you probably still have MREs somewhere in your intestines somewhere that are just
Oh
hanging
yeah,
out.
I'm sure.
They're
Just
like, I'm
lingering.
not
Haven't
going anywhere.
spat it out yet.
Yep. Nope. I live here
Just
now.
like hanging on for dear life.
This is my
I've been here
permanent duty
since
station.
2002.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh
Absolutely.
my gosh. So we get there, right? We get there. And some butter bar lieutenant wants to tell me that I can't be with my team anymore. And I'm like, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
They're like, yeah, we don't think it's right that you're with a group of males. So we're going to put you in the female tent over here. I was like,
oh, tent. Oh, sleeping
yeah,
tent. Okay.
tent.
I thought you meant he
Well,
was
no,
like
but
you're out of the group.
even
Like,
yeah. No.
you're out of
So
the band.
They're like, yeah, we're gonna have you post up over here. And mind you, this was at least, I mean, it wasn't too far, but it was a good 15, 20-minute walk to where my
Ugh.
team was set up.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, wait. So you're telling me I've been with my team of soldiers and troops. I don't see male. We see soldiers.
Yeah.
Yes, we ate, slept, and shit together. Okay.
Yeah.
There's no, it's not about the sex at that point. It's not.
You got other stuff to
Not
worry
for
about.
me, not for our team.
Yeah.
It was about a soldier and a brother. And I said, so you want me to leave my team at night? Okay.
Yeah.
That I've been with for 6 months through the shit.
Mhm.
Just because I have a pair of tits, you want me to sleep with these other girls?
Yeah.
I said, what's gonna happen when your internet and phones go down? Oh, well, I'm sure they can handle it. Really? Because I'm second in command at this point.
Yeah.
So after my team chief, I'm in charge. And there was many times where, because I was the highest ranking specialist, there was many times where he wasn't available because he was in meetings. So I would be in charge.
Yeah.
And I said, so you want the second in command that's been there the longest, almost the longest, to be 20 minutes away from my team when your internet goes down? Let me know how that goes.
Yeah.
And so she thought about it.
Oh, it was a she. Okay.
Yeah. She thought of course. Why
Well-
else would, I mean, a guy wouldn't come up and, I'm sorry.
That's not
Not to be
necessarily
sexist,
true.
but-
I could feel like I a butter bar could have been like, I'm in charge here, and
No, I'm saying,
you know-
I don't believe that a man would have had this in his mind to think, oh, well, it's a girl. We should put her with the girls. I don't think a man would have thought of that at that point. I would like to think. It's only a girl that would be like, oh my God,
yeah.
she's not with the girls.
I don't know. I
Anyway,
met some
yes, offense to
some
women.
thirsty officers. You get a brand new
Right.
E1, E2 in there, and there's like a butter bar, and you're like, why are you guys having a conversation? Like, you came to our unit, and you're talking to her of all people. Like, don't you have some like E6 or 7 to go talk to? Like,
Right. Well, I was
go
a
away,
specialist
go.
at the time. I was a specialist.
Yeah.
I had made rank pretty quickly, but yeah. So I'm like, let me let that sink in for a minute, see how that goes. She's
Yeah.
like, yeah, maybe you should just go stay with your team because we had a tent and everything set up over there. So
Yeah. Yeah.
like, really,
It hasn't been an issue up to
wanna
this
do
point.
now?
You're making it an issue.
Yeah, you were making an issue. So 9 months we were there, 9 months total, from December 2002 to August 2003. Excuse me, we got back right before my my 2002 would have been 19th birthday.
Ooh, yo, we're dropping all the rogue information
Yeah.
here. Name,
19th.
birthday. She's
I
gonna
think it was
drop
19th,
her blood type, social security number. You know, all that stuff's coming out.
19th or 20th. I can't remember because my 21st birthday was in Iraq the second time.
Jeez.
We came back right before my 21st birthday.
Yeah.
Or
Wow.
right after. I can't remember. But yeah, I was pretty young. It was either 19 or 20. But we came back right before my birthday.
Mhm.
But we were there 9 months. We were like the week before we left Burger King, the Burger King trailer showed up. All they had was Whoppers, but it was fucking phenomenal.
Yeah. Yeah.
We didn't get to partake because something always happened, but
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, and remember how I said in my ramblings that our team only drank the water that was bottled?
Yes.
Guess what happened?
Somebody got some sort of dysentery. or
There was
something?
the entire unit, besides my team,
Yeah.
got a very nasty case of dysentery.
Yeah. Oh, that's great.
All but us.
Yeah.
The commander was shitting and barfing.
That's
The
great.
first sergeant was shitting and barfing.
Well-
Everybody was laid up sick except
Yeah.
for us.
Sometimes you got to learn life lessons the hard way.
I was like, no fucking way. Nope, I'm not drinking that water. I'll go thirsty. I'm
That's
not.
great. Yeah, that's awesome. That's good. Yeah.
So that was the first deployment.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, here's some shitty parts. I told some good stories. Now I'm gonna tell some shitty parts of
Yeah. You got to
deployment here.
take the good and the bad, you know? Good and the bad.
Besides the brass that are a bunch of pussies. It feels like sometimes.
If there's any
Um,
officers in here, like, I'm sorry.
yeah, not the previous enlisted,
Oh
not the
yeah, yeah,
previous enlisted officers. I have respect for those.
yeah,
I'm talking about the butter bars and the lieutenants with like 6 months under the belt. Okay.
yo. What do the kids say
Um,
now? Don't at me. She just added you officers.
I did.
Straight out. Straight out.
I ain't afraid. I ain't scared. What are you gonna do to me?
Yeah.
So, when we're taking over the airport, we're clearing buildings mostly. Um, a lot of the snipers have been taken out. There's not a whole lot of people left. Not a lot of civilians.
Yeah.
Of course, we get the cars running, right? The cars that were left.
Sure.
We get them running, and we're using them everywhere. We're racing up and down the airfield and shit. But when the brass shows up, that's when they're like, no, 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 we're gonna confiscate these trucks. These are now ours. These are for the lieutenants and the commanders and the colonels and all that bullshit. We're like, whatever.
Yeah, they got
Well,
meetings to go to,
yeah, yeah,
They can't be rolling
um,
around in a jalopy in Iraq. Like,
yeah.
it's got bullet holes
So
in it. You can't drive it around.
I still have respect for. So yes, we bombed them. Okay.
Yeah.
We're there to take out an oppositional force. I get it.
Yeah.
But there's a way in which we need to compose ourselves or act
Yeah.
over there.
You got to conduct yourself in a certain manner.
Yeah, it's the honorable thing to do. Something not so honorable is clearing a building. This is why we didn't sleep in one of the buildings. We actually set up. This is why we set up right next to our trucks. We weren't gonna. They were like, yeah, just pick a building and a room and make it your own. So we were clearing our building that was gonna be where we were gonna stay, and there was human feces in the rooms, just shit. People, soldiers, went in there and just shit in the corners, in the middle of the room.
Yeah,
didn't matter, just shit. I'm like, who does that when there's porta pot? I mean,
yeah.
and then I was trying to make excuses. I'm like, maybe it was the soldiers that were, hanging out here. No, but it's like fresh. It's like fucking fresh shit.
Yeah.
In the buildings.
Absolutely.
And I'm like, come on. And there's trash everywhere. Stuff ripped up. I don't know. I'm like, where do they get spray paint? Where do they get paint to like vandalize and stuff? I'm like,
found it around
anyway.
Somewhere. Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah, and lucrative but not so cool thing that a lot of the people did, a lot of the soldiers did was so at the airport there was there were stores and there was dry cleaning. So some of the dry cleaning stuff, there was Gucci and Prada and you name the kind of shit, like brand name expensive shit, Louis Vuitton, shoes and bags and coats and suits, and there were soldiers who had that down to a T on how much you could pack it into an MRE case and sent it home, and it still felt like and looked like an MRE case.
Yeah, that's
and they
great.
sent all that shit home.
Yeah,
and I'm like, this just ain't right. It ain't right.
Yeah.
I know that, like, I get it, but that's not me. It's just not right.
Yeah,
it's not
absolutely.
cool.
Yeah.
So,
absolutely.
Yeah. That was my first deployment.
Yeah. So you came back from your first deployment. Did you go back to your original base?
Yes. Yeah. Back to Fort Stewart.
Okay. And you stayed there. How long were you there till your next deployment?
A year.
A
little over a year. Because so this is the hard thing for me to talk about.
Don't we talked about earlier. You skip over anything you don't want to talk about.
Yeah, but it's important to know who I am. My son was born in September of 2004, and I deployed in January of 2005.
Ooh.
So, do the math on that one. How long is the pregnancy?
Yeah.
I had a month left. A month? a couple weeks, I don't know, left on my maternity leave from the military, and they made me go the second time. So my ETS date, here's another thing. Here's the other kicker. My ETS date was May 7th, 2005. So,
Wow.
or 2004. I'm sorry, because I signed up for 4 years, so it's a day before that you went in.
Yeah.
So May 7th, 2004.
Yeah.
So do the math with me. I was supposed to be on maternity leave and get out of the military
Yeah.
and have done my time with one deployment and the bullshit that I went through. That
Mhm.
isn't even all my stories. But that I was supposed to be done with that.
Mhm.
Right? No. So not only did I get stop lost, okay? Does everybody know what a stop loss is?
Why don't you explain it for
So stop
there are some people in here who
stop
work in the
loss
military.
is when they say, okay, we need your MOS specifically. The needs of the army, you cannot get out. They own you. So the military, what they don't tell you is they own you for 8 years regardless.
Yeah.
Regardless of if you only sign up for 2 years, regardless of if you sign up for 4, they own you your ass for 8 years. And that actually happened. So when Bush declared war, there was people that I had seen get out have to come back in.
Yeah.
They pulled them back.
It can
'Cause if you
happen.
still-
Uh,
Yep.
because
It happened a lot.
you sign that contract for 8 years, and most of the time
Yep.
you do 4 years active duty, and the
Mhm.
second 4 years you do reserve. You're not a reservist, but
It's
you're
inactive ready
yeah,
reserve.
you're a reserve in case, oh, we need bodies. Well, you're
Yep.
still under contract, and so which is shitty because you don't make any money during that 4 years. You know,
Mm-mm.
it's like if and you're supposed to be ready to go at
In
any moment.
combat. Yep.
You're supposed to be in military regulations for 4 years.
Yep.
I tell you what, I met plenty of people after I got out, and where I was like, oh shit, like you got a tattoo on your face. You're like, yeah, fuck it, they'll never call me back
Yeah.
now. They're never gonna call me back because I got a fucking whatever on my face. Oh, hey man, you do you. You got to live with that for the rest of your life. But
Yeah.
it's crazy.
Yep.
So
Yep. So
stop loss.
Stop loss. Yep. That means for the needs of the army, I couldn't get out.
Yep.
And that was pretty traumatic for me. My son was 4 months old when I had to leave him. I was still lactating on the plane. Just to put it in perspective,
Jeez.
my flak vest
yeah.
was so hard to put on because it was, to be graphic, engorged. Like there was
Yeah.
so much. And it was probably one of the most traumatic things I had to do in the military.
Yeah. That's crazy.
And
That's insane.
yeah, and I pleaded with everybody. I pleaded with the chaplain, I pleaded with my first sergeant, my commander, my battalion commander, my battalion NCO. Like I pleaded with everybody. And you know what my first sergeant told me? Well, I just had a baby and I'm going.
You didn't
I was
have
like,
a baby.
"Motherfucker, you did not just have a baby."
Your wife had a baby. And
I literally still have stitches in my vagina from my child, okay? You cannot tell me you just had a baby.
I'll have to put a explicit content warning. Like just right. Right. Let me write down the time right now.
I mean, come on, I have still
yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
like, you can't tell me you just had a child.
Yeah.
Your wife had a
Your
child.
wife had the child,
I get
yeah.
that there's, your sperm helped that, but
Sure. Yeah.
you did not poop that out, sir.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Hey, wait. It poops out? My entire life
Yeah,
just got flipped.
I call
No,
it poops out.
I'm just kidding. I have a son.
So-
He'll be 12 this year. So I get the
Yeah.
works of I took sex ed. Don't look at me. Don't
There you go.
Don't at me. I know how a woman's body works. Kinda, sorta, whatever.
Yeah, he's gonna be 17 in September, but
Yeah.
yeah, that was, and it was a year. I was a year.
That's that's rough.
It was the hardest year. That's the second time I wanted to die. Well, the first time I wanted to die. The first time that I was almost a 22.
Yeah.
It was really hard.
Yeah, I can't even fathom that the army would be like, you had a baby like a few months ago, and now it's like, hey, well, we need you to go into a desert and potentially just die. You're not even fully healed. You can't run or lift heavy shit or do
They didn't
anything.
care.
Yeah,
And you know the
that's
craziest? Here's the
crazy.
kicker. Here's the
That's
other
insane.
kicker. When I got there, they said, "Yeah, we don't need your job. We're gonna trade you to do something else." And they retrained us to do um Cat 5 and fiber optics terminating and splicing and setting up the junction boxes and the hubs and keeping their secured lines of internet going and expanding.
I don't know how to fake a heat stroke, but I probably would have at that point. I would have just yeah, yeah.
Sorry, 1 second.
No, absolutely. I'll talk while you do your thing. But yeah, I probably would have faked a heat stroke. I would have I don't know, like had like a bad case of the shits, or I'd have done something. I had a similar experience with my unit just leaving me in Iraq, and at that
It's
point,
nice.
yeah, yeah, it was a good time. At that point, I kind of just was like, I was on my OFP, and for those of you who don't know what military lingo is, that's my own fucking program. I kind of just did what I wanted. What are you gonna do? Like, so it's very
Yeah.
the military can go to extremes when they want something, and that's why like people, I talk to a lot of people. I work with the VFW, and I talk to a lot of people, and I'm like, hey, have you gone and seen you know, a VA rep or anything like that? And they're like, well, I'm not that messed up or whatever. And I'm like, look, the military got everything out of you, and
Oh
then
yeah,
some,
that's me. That's me in
and
a nutshell.
they took everything that they could from you. So why
Mhm.
not get those benefits that they promised you? Uh, because if you don't, like you have to treat the military and the VA and everything the same way that they treated you in the first place, and that's
Yep.
get whatever you can, because they don't. When it boils down to it, the military, they don't really care about the individual. They care about getting the
No,
job done. So
exactly.
that's why I treat the VA the same way. I care about getting what I want and what I need done, because it's about me at that point in time.
Right.
But so so they retrained you. They sent you over
Yeah.
there, and they were like, "Well, we don't really need you, but since you're
Yeah.
here,
Since you're
we're gonna
here,
retrain you to do
fiber optics,
fiber optics."
which later on I couldn't use my experience of being in one of the harshest environments imaginable and splicing fucking cable that is glass that is super hard
Yeah.
to splice in a sterilized area,
Hmm.
um, let alone a harsh environment. Oh, you can't get a job because you don't have a certificate, even though you have experience splicing this cable.
Yeah.
We can't allow you
Yeah.
to.
You have to go to a formal school. I've
Yeah,
I've had those
yeah, which
conversations
was great.
plenty.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was super nice.
Yeah.
So, along with me being in a place ripped away from my child, not doing the job that I did before, getting mortared on the daily, it was the second time was definitely harder than the first
Hmm.
because I didn't have to worry about all that mess and I didn't know the danger that I was really in, besides the fact that the one time I thought I was going to die. um, and this time, the difference being I wanted to die. Um,
Yeah.
and it took the other team lead to bring me back, and it was hard. It was really hard, and the only reason I didn't finish was because of my son. So
Yeah.
that's
It's
that's why I'm adamant about helping other veterans, because
yeah.
you are worth it
Ab-
no matter what you've been through. So
absolutely. And that's kind of why, that's one of the reasons I started doing this specifically. And and I've talked about it multiple times on other channels, on my original podcast. This whole setup, but it was different. And I literally was sat in my garage in my shop, and I was ready to blow my brains out. I was drinking all the time. I was taking pills from the VA, and it wasn't working. And I I was in that point where I was like, whatever. I don't. I'm not as important as I believe myself to be. And then you become selfish in those moments. And then like you were saying, your kid's 17, mine's 11, and then I just kept thinking, like, I started thinking about my kid and all this stuff. And then like I called a bunch of people, those people who are like, I got you, call me whenever time you want to. I reached out. Silent. Nothing. Yeah, it was
Yeah.
2:33 in the morning. So, but I mean, if when you reach out to somebody, it shouldn't have a time frame. Like, I'm only open these business
Yeah.
hours.
Yeah.
And
Exactly.
so when you get to the edge like that, like it's rough, and it takes something strong to kind of like pull you back. And it's definitely, you're never as alone as you think you are. You
Yeah.
just are like a lot of vets who become the 22, they just reach out to the wrong people,
Yeah.
and it's very sad. It's very disheartening, when it comes to like that. And it seems like more veterans come to the point where they're ready to end their life than they are willing to reach out a hand, like you talked about earlier. Like, we're a very stubborn breed of people. We don't say uncle until
Mm-mm.
it's too late. And
Yep.
that's a very,
Suffer in silence. That's our motto.
absolutely. And so, I mean, like, I know it's different now, but like anybody who watches these or listens or whatever, like, you're not alone. There's plenty of people out there who you can
Yeah.
reach out to. There's suicide hotlines. There's you know people in general. So you're not alone. Absolutely not alone. Sorry, this is my little PSA.
No, that's okay. Don't be
Give
sorry.
you give you a minute to collect yourself.
No, I'm good.
Like we talked about earlier,
Um,
you start crying, I'm gonna start crying, and we're just gonna sit here for like 5 minutes. Like, and my beer's not long enough where I could dry my tears yet. So, like, it's not a.
it's close.
It's
Close.
close. It's very
Doing a good
close.
job.
It's not yet though.
Yep.
So, yeah,
Almost.
that's rough. So, uh, the cat cables. Where'd you where'd you deploy? Back to Iraq the second time?
Yes. So
Where?
we were on Liberty is where we
Liberty.
were at, which was um I think it was just east of Biop.
Okay.
Um
Hmm.
but there was many bases or many FOBs that we had. I mean, we were all over the place. Um but mainly where we ate and slept and stuff, our main hub was Liberty. But we traveled all over
Yeah. Yeah.
um in the area. So yeah, we
Okay.
basically dug manholes, dug ditches for manholes, um, laid cable, conduit, spliced it, set up their boxes so they could just plug everything in, and they'd have signal. And after they set up their own little, computers or whatnot, but
Yeah.
we would basically set it all up for them. And um, yeah, that was. I mean, I haven't worked the hardest in my life other than that year. That was the hardest physically and mentally. That was the hardest work I've ever done.
Yeah.
And it definitely helped to make me who I am. I don't give up. Um, I lost some people.
Hmm.
Um, one died for what I think is stupid reason. Um, but we
Sure.
we did get lucky too, and
Yeah. Absolutely.
we could have lost a lot more, but
Yeah. Absolutely.
it was definitely a harder deployment than the first one.
Yeah.
A lot harder.
Um. So how? And you said your second deployment was about a year. It was a year.
It was a
It
year.
was a year.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yep.
So you went. What was it like?
From
Like January to January, or
January to January. Yeah.
that's rough. So then, so you made it back from your second deployment, obviously, because I don't have that kind of connection to like, you know, me and the big guy upstairs. We don't have webcams to each other. Um, so you made it back. Now, after that point, how long was it till you got your papers?
Well, I got out in um April 2006 is
Hmm.
when I got out. So from January to April is how long it took.
Okay. Okay.
And then when I got out, I was like, you know what? I am not going to get called back, so I'm gonna go National Guard and do the rest of my time
Mhm.
because I want to get paid for it, and
Smart move. Yeah.
I'm not coming back. Um, they tried to get me to reenlist, and I was like, fuck you guys, not after that. No
Yeah.
way. You can bite my ass.
Yeah.
Um,
Absolutely.
so
Now, did you go to So when you did the National Guard thing, was it like by your hometown? Was it still in Georgia?
no, it was in
Where
Arizona. It was in Arizona.
Arizona?
So I
Okay.
moved for personal reasons that I don't want to get into. I
Yeah,
moved
absolutely.
to Arizona with my mom
Mhm.
and her family, and I started whatever life I could,
Mhm.
really. But I stayed in a combat related field,
Mhm.
and I wasn't sure why until many years later. Um, so I did have some trouble with loud noises and being in populous areas,
Mhm.
but it didn't occur to me why. So I just ignored it. But I had this need to do armed security, and I was a police officer for a year. So I did the academy, and I was a police officer. Um, I did military funeral honors. So I get back, right?
Yeah.
I go to Arizona. I'm like, now what am I gonna do? So I'm at the National Guard. I'm doing random jobs. Like I installed satellite dishes for a while. In kind of a networking, um, working with a networking company. But then I was like,
Mhm.
maybe I can get orders to work with the military.
Yeah.
So I did military funeral honors with the National Guard, and that was a full time. I got paid full time for that because we'd go all the time,
Mhm.
and that was probably um, also one of the hardest and most honorable um, things I could have done,
Absolutely.
because even though we had it rough, um, it didn't really get bad with the IEDs until later on, and yeah, we got mortared and some people died, and I didn't get injured directly, but the people after us had it rough. The soldiers after us had it
Mhm.
really rough with the exploding MRE bags and
Yep.
boxes and trash and kids being used. They had it a lot rougher than us, so I felt like that's what I wanted to do,
Yeah.
and I did it for about 6 months, I
Mhm.
would say. But we would do military funeral honors, so we would fold the flag, we'd do the 21 gun salute, and we would also go um, escort the body of the soldier coming home. And that was really hard, especially when the family would be there, wives and kids and moms and dads. Because we had a whole ceremonial thing that we did to get the body off of the plane
Yeah.
and then take it to the hearse so that the family could, do what they needed to with the remains. One of the hardest ones, we tried to keep it separated and kind of turn hard to it
Sure.
because we couldn't do our job if we didn't.
Yeah,
Um,
absolutely.
so one of them, this kid was 18, and I say kid, I was my late 20s at this point, so he was a kid to me.
Yeah.
Um, he was 18 and his Humvee got hit by an IED, and his wife came to pick him up.
Like I said, you don't have to share anything you don't want to. Eh, I know it's rough
It's
sometimes.
not even
It's not
He's
a
not even somebody that I knew,
doesn't matter.
but just
Yeah, it's family. It doesn't necessarily matter. Like,
he was only 18 and his wife was so young.
yeah,
And she so we walked up and got the casket or the box because they send them in boxes.
yeah.
A lot of people don't know that. Boxes with a flag draped over it.
Hmm.
The fucking box.
That's the military. Lowest bidder on everything, even your casket. So it's fucking
And so we took it over to the casket and walked it. And the whole time, the wife is just throwing herself over the casket, crying. It made me feel bad that I was there and he wasn't. I don't even know this kid.
yeah. It's
So I couldn't do that for very long.
yeah. We get a survivor's guilt for things, even if it's not like you don't know them or anything like that. You still get that type of you still get that type of feeling because like you always we're our worst critic. So we're always like,
Yeah.
I fucked up so much. This guy was probably stellar, amazing. How come
Yeah.
he's. And it's life.
So I
I
can't
mean,
even imagine how people who lost a brother standing next to them or something. I can't even fathom like how does that give me the right to feel the way I do when
it's your,
I didn't lose somebody standing right next to me.
I mean,
I
you're
didn't have to hear their screams. I heard I heard random people screaming. I heard chaos that wasn't my own. So what right do I have to be here or to complain or to say anything about it when there are so many people who didn't even come back or who had it so much worse than me, you know?
I mean, Rogue, you're a human being, and it's actually speaks more to your character that this moved you so much. Whereas I've seen a lot of guys. I've been to more funerals than I'd like to be. I'm turning.
I
I'll turn.
refuse to go.
Yeah, I'll turn 35 this year. So fun fact for those of you. And I've been to more funerals than I'd count, and uh, it's like I've seen people there like that we served together with, stone cold fate. Like I'll cry. I'm not ashamed that I cry. Absolutely not. I'm
Yeah.
6'4", 200 and something pounds, and
200.
and I'm not ashamed that I cry. Yeah, I'm a big guy. I have feelings just like everybody else, but I've seen people there stone cold, whatever. And at the end of the day, like if this person emotionally touched you one way or another, you knew him, you didn't know him, like it still shows your character that you still are a caring human being. So there's nothing wrong with you felt you felt bad because this guy didn't make it out. There's nothing wrong with that. Absolutely nothing
Well, and
wrong with
that
that.
wears on you. I mean,
It does. It wears on your psyche
we
because
did so many. I only did it for 6 months, but we had so many funerals, so many. It's just it's insane. Like I can't go to another funeral. I went to my friend's funeral in Iraq, and I will never go to another funeral ever. Ever. I won't. I can't do it.
yeah, absolutely.
I don't want to say goodbye like that.
You gotta. To each their own. Everybody deals with losing their. Everybody deals with loss differently. and there's no right or wrong way to deal with it. And I think a lot of people are. We live in this society where we talked about this on with Doc on the Salty Sailor talk uh,
Yeah.
about stuff that currently in society. What's your biggest pet peeve? That's the one that we talked about last time I was there, and that
The
was
biggest
mine.
pet
Is
how fucking soft this country has gotten.
well, no, absolutely the opposite of being man up, being in the military and just man up. You don't need to don't cry. The fuck you doing? This shit, like, don't do that shit. That's for civilians to do. That's for women and children to do. You don't do that shit. And that's the biggest thing is, like, so what? Like, everybody's got a feelings. Just because you can choke back your tears better than somebody else doesn't mean you're fucking what? You're tougher than anybody else? Like, no. You cry in the shower, I cry in public. What makes us different? Because you can't tell me, nobody can sit there and be like, I don't cry. No, fuck that. I don't cry. Yeah, bullshit. At least I'm honest with myself. I'm honest with myself that I cry. You chalk it up as like, oh, allergies.
No, I never cried more than after I got out of the army. Never cried more. I used to never cry. Oh my god.
Well, you don't have to be. You don't have to be G.I. Jane. I think that was an army movie. I don't know. Whatever.
Yeah, that was a movie. Well, kind of. She
Yeah.
was Air Force, but or Navy, I think. But
yeah, that's how much. Good movie, but TBI stuff. You get hit in the head one too many times. It's just green at that point. But yeah, I mean that's it. It's rough, but I mean you should never. Nobody should feel bad about themselves because they have feelings. It's when your feelings take over everything else. That's a different subject for a different podcast for a different channel. Because I don't give a shit. You want to cry, cry. You don't want to cry, don't cry. Don't judge. Don't judge me for crying. The fuck out of here. I'm a grown ass man. You take that shit somewhere else. I'll cry right now. No, I won't.
Right now, just to prove.
Yeah, just to prove I'm a fucking man. I'll cry right now. I'm a tough guy. I'll cry right now. Like, give me a second. I gotta.
Give me a second. Let me poke me in the eye really fast.
Yeah. Let me get off camera real quick. But anyways, don't at me. Don't anything. But so, yeah, that's. I can't. I've been to funerals. I can't imagine trying to keep myself together in order to give people honors, because I'm a big baby. I'll cry. I break down. I'll always, like, I'll show my emotions, like, it took me a long time to get to that point. I was the same way, like I went to one of my best friend's funerals on Camp I was stationed at Camp Pendleton. I got out. They just came back from Afghanistan. He was going through some personal issues, and he became one of the 22. I went to his funeral, nothing, stone cold. People came up to me like, oh, like, thought you guys were tight. I'm like, yeah, we were great. We're good friends. I beat myself up to it to this day, like that I didn't show emotion because, like I would, like, because I felt like everybody thought I didn't care about him. And then I started realizing that why am I caring about what other people think when it affects me and my livelihood,
Right.
And
sorry,
everybody to each their own, if you want to suck it up and save those tears for yourself, hey, go ahead, that's you. But me, I'm not worried about at the end of the day. I'm not worried about if you don't pay my bills, if you're not sleeping next to me at bed at nighttime, if you're not cooking me a meal, or if you didn't come out of my ball sack, I don't give a fuck what your opinion is about me. Like, if you
come out of your ball sack, oh my god,
my kid, I feel like I care what my son thinks about me.
Right.
Like,
I'm just messing with you.
Like, geez, I have to explain myself here. If you don't fit in one of those categories, like, your opinion, right out the window. You need the fuck out of here with that shit. Straight out the window.
GTFO.
Yeah, exactly. Anyways, we're way off topic here. We could sit for another 2 hours talking about how I don't give a shit about what your opinion is.
Right.
So you did the military honors thing. You did the police. Oh, okay, so did the police come afterwards?
Yeah.
Okay,
The police was actually I tried to get into the police while I was doing the military funeral honors.
Okay.
So
Okay.
That all happened in conjunction, and then basically moving forward, I got out of the National Guard because they were going to deploy again, and I had just had my daughter. So this is a few
Oh,
years later,
yeah. You don't want to do that again.
2008. Yeah, so I find out I'm pregnant. Um, not by my husband at the time. That was over. Um,
Spilling the tea. Spilling the
yeah,
tea. I think that's what the
and
kids call it nowadays.
uh, the tea.
Yeah.
So I was like, I can't do it again. I am not
Yeah.
physically or emotionally strong enough to leave my child again. I can't. It almost killed me the first time. I guarantee it would kill me the second time.
Yeah.
Like I can't I'm not that emotionally strong. Like I don't care what anybody says. I know what I can and cannot do.
Mhm.
So, I got out of the military on a hardship. Still honorable,
Yeah.
but her father was also serving, so that's how I was able to get out.
Mhm.
Plus I had done my 8 years. So I pretty much just got out a few months early than I would have.
You just saved up your
But
leave days and cashed them
yeah,
in.
I was worried that they were gonna stop loss me again because, well, I had a bad track record with that already.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
so I was like, yeah, no, I'm gonna get out sooner just to be safe.
You gotta
So
gotta take care of yourself when it
um
comes to it.
yeah, so I got out. And that's when all the fun started happening.
Okay.
When so stopped being a police officer, um, started doing armed security, unarmed security. I had to be in the thick of whatever was happening, and I couldn't figure out why. I didn't know
Yeah.
why. It didn't really occur to me even that that was even something that I was unintentionally doing or subconsciously doing. But since I'd been out, I had to have some kind of job where it was stressful but felt normal at the same time.
Yeah. Adrenaline.
Right. And when things happened, I didn't run from it, I ran to it. And it felt good to do that.
Yeah.
So it I can almost remember the exact day where it clicked. And I had anxiety, but it wasn't anywhere near as bad as when so we started, remember that rash of school bombings that we had, or not bombings, but shootings
I might
back
have.
in 2014,
Oh, okay.
2015 is when
Yeah.
it really started
Yeah.
going on.
Yes. I do remember those.
Um,
Yep.
my mom called me or texted me while I was at work. I was working, this was a non-security job. My first non-security job getting out of the military, 2014.
Yeah.
So I did some kind of armed or unarmed security for years after the military. So my first desk job, I got a text from my mother saying, "Pray for me. There's a shooter on campus. I love you." And I lost it. I had to go outside. I was hysterical. I couldn't do anything. I felt helpless. It was awful. Um, she's fine. They caught the guy.
Good.
He had gone through campus, but that
That's good.
wasn't his target.
Yeah.
And that's the moment when I was like, fuck, I'm not in Iraq anymore. Like, I'm in the US and this shit is happening. What is going on? Um, and then I had my first panic attack. And I've probably had one. It's been getting better, but I've had a panic attack at least a few a month since then. Small ones, the bigger ones I've had maybe 3 or 4 in a month. But I have small ones, anxiety attacks and things,
Yeah.
um, on the daily. And I never really understood why until a few months ago, or a few years ago, I should say.
Mhm.
Um, it didn't really click. Like, I've had people tell me I've been prescribed medication, which I've not taken. And I've had my really low times, and I don't know, it's a work in progress.
You know,
It's a work in progress. That's why I stream though. Was streaming
there you go.
has helped me so much.
Any step forward is progress.
Yeah, just knowing that
Doesn't matter.
here, knowing that I can help somebody to get to that realization quicker than I did. Um
Yeah.
I'm still struggling with it. I still haven't gone to the VA because
I,
that's a whole nother issue. That's a whole nother
yeah.
podcast.
Absolutely. Look, I'm not a huge proponent for the VA. The VA to me has never helped me. I've had more issues. My issues have become worse since I went to the VA, and I tried to go on a constant basis. But I do know it helps a lot of people. A lot of people. It's just not, it just wasn't for me. But
Mm.
trying to better yourself in any way, shape, or form, regardless if you go to the VA, you go to do whatever and figure it out. That's the important part, is trying to better yourself to, because ultimately, like at the end of the day, that's who it is. It's you live with yourself, plain and simple. And I struggle with it, time to time. I've been in very bad situations where my mental health was very, very bad. It was very shitty, and it
Mhm.
didn't, like I talked about earlier. I was ready to blow my brains out. I was at the end of my rope, So I've been in the darkest depths. The only difference is like somebody actually did call me back after I
Mhm.
reached out for, like 45 minutes, and I said, "Look, this is the sign right here." I reached out for help and nobody was there, and I was at that low point, that dark pit, like I was there.
Yeah.
And so there's varying degrees of being lost in that area, but the important thing is when you make progress because you're not ready to give up. That's the important part, and a lot of people don't focus on the little steps. They're like, why am I not better? This guy's better, that guy's better, he's been doing that. Like, look at him, he talked about being depressed, and now, it's like, well, it's one step at a time. There's no like depression lottery where you just win it and you're you wake up and you're happy the
Right.
next day. There's
No,
no
it's your whole life.
yeah, it's day
Whole
by
life.
day. You take little victories. I showered
Yeah.
today. Yo, fuck it, get out of here. I took
Hey,
a
me
shower.
too.
You
Me
know what I mean?
too.
You take those little
We're living
victories.
the high life.
Like, I mean, I do shower every day, but I'm just saying, like, you take those little victories, like I
Oh, I
brush my
know.
teeth.
I'm a
I
dirty bitch.
I
I don't
uh
show
I
it.
slept in my bed. I cooked the meal. I did this. I did that. You take those little victories until next thing you know is like, yeah, I went to the store on my own. I walked around the store by myself. I got what I wanted, and I just still walked around I because I could, because I didn't have a panic attack. I wasn't. I do look over my shoulder constantly, but
I do too.
I didn't freak out in the store. I didn't just leave my cart there and be like, I can't do this and I need to leave. Like, I didn't do that today. I checked out, and then slowly it builds up until, like it's not as bad. And anybody who struggles with it, like it's just baby steps. You have to constantly look at this thing baby steps, because if not, you're going to depress yourself. You're going to make it even
Yeah.
worse, because like depression, you pick on all the stuff. That's PTSD is huge for doing that type of stuff, because you're already down on yourself, because we all hold ourselves to what we were when I was in the military. How many times do you have that conversation? Well, fuck, when I was in the military, I could run this, I could do that, I
Yeah.
lived in a hole, I could, I did this, I did that, I did this, and then you're like, the fuck do I do now? And so it's
Yeah.
an evolution. You do different stuff, and we're very hard. We're our own worst critic, and people
Fact.
lose people lose sight of the fact that like any that you're making progress regardless, and
Yeah.
so anybody out there, like there's plenty of places to go for that kind of shit. uh
That's true. That's very true.
what was it okay, yeah, so sorry, I don't like to go on rants and stuff like that, especially
That's okay.
during other
It
people's times and stuff.
needed.
uh
No, you're fine.
yeah,
You're fine.
but okay, so you finished doing uh the police thing. You started your desk job. How did that desk job lead you to uh, Rogue Frog? How did that? How did that?
Well, I've had Rogue Frog since 2005, so
Oh, I
I've
mean,
been gaming for a long time. I
I
mean, even before then I was gaming, but
Yeah.
I
How,
had my own
uh,
shit and everything
how
then.
did it lead to twitch.tv/rogue_fraud?
Okay, so that's
Go
an
check it out.
interesting story. So
Go check it out if you
my
haven't.
husband,
Shout it
yeah,
out in the chat.
my husband actually, Frost. He has been telling me for I don't know since he's met me actually, that I should be doing Twitch, and I was like, "What's Twitch?" He told me about it the first time in 2017.
Yeah.
17? He told me about it, and I was like, "What's Twitch?" He's like, "Yeah, oh, it's you know, you watch people play video games." I'm like, "Who the fuck wants to do that? And you want me to do that? Like, who the fuck wants to watch me play video games?"
Yeah.
He's like, "Babe, the shit that you say is off the chain." Like, he didn't say that, but in his language, it's crazy. He's like, "You said the craziest shit." Uh, and you're a chick. Like, it's a win-win. And I was like, nobody's gonna want to watch me play games. Nobody. So, um, I started thinking about it seriously. I'm actually coming up on my year. I've been streaming for almost a year. On my birthday, actually, in August, the 21st will be my year
All the
anniversary.
details
I
up
call
in
it my
here.
year anniversary because I got affiliated on my birthday in
Hey.
last year or this year. It's almost over, yeah. 2021 of August is when I got, or 2020, I'm sorry, is when I got affiliated. I had streamed like a week before then or so.
Yeah.
But I really started streaming to help veterans, and I'm like, I can't be the only person that's struggling with going to the store and being around people and almost punching old ladies when they tap you on the shoulder and
Fuck that old lady.
like
She should have known better.
oh my gosh. And I can't be the only one that feels bad about trying to get help when I didn't really do anything, I don't feel like, in my mind. And like, I came back with my life, I came back with my legs. What gives me the right? And I feel like there's other people that have that same thought or mentality that I wasn't in, even though I was in combat, I wasn't shooting my gun, I wasn't clearing rooms like with active shooters, and I just made excuses basically.
Yeah. Yep.
And I can't be the only one that's doing that right now. So but I also made a channel to help me because I don't usually talk about this kind of stuff with people. And I've probably talked about it, I don't know, maybe a total of 10 times since it all went down.
Mm-hmm.
And over it's been going on 20 years since the military, since all that happened. That's not a lot.
Yeah. Not a lot at all. Yeah.
And there's some shit that I still don't talk about, and
Absolutely.
I'm not the only one. And it's hard to hear that, and it's hard to admit that to myself, but if I can do it and I can help somebody else realize that, that's all I want. That's all I want. And
Absolutely.
I want to be a resource for somebody. Like you said, you called that one person and that's all it took for you to not pull the trigger. I want to be that person for someone else. Because I had that person when I was in the low, my dark place. I had that person, and he wasn't even that close to me. Like, we weren't that close, but he was still my brother, and I want to be that to my brothers and sisters, and I want to be that person that picks up.
Mm-hmm.
So,
sorry, I was drinking some water. Absolutely.
yeah,
I totally.
that's why I do it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And if I can make somebody laugh in the process, perfect. If I don't have to make that phone call and they just come into the stream and they're like, you know what, I'm not alone. There are resources, and they see the shit popping off in my stream, and they click on the link and they get help.
Yeah.
That's all I want. I don't want to be famous. I don't want
Yeah.
I don't plan on making millions and millions of dollars doing this. I'm going to make enough to survive and maybe pay off my car even, which is a 2013 Subaru.
Hey,
Um,
Subarus
and
are
roll
great
with
though.
that until the wheels fall off.
Yeah.
I don't need much in
Mhm.
life. Things are things. Things come and go. It's all not it's all trivial. What matters is the person standing next to me or the person that I'm talking to, the person that's listening to me. That's what matters. And I know I'm going off on a tangent, but
No, you're good.
with the popularity, you reach more people. So if that's what I got to do, that's what I'll do, but I'm not doing it to be famous. I'm doing it to reach more people. The more people I can reach, the better. And the more money I can give back, and I don't care, taxes are bullshit. Fine, I can only donate so much money. Okay.
Yeah.
There's other ways around that. I can buy things and give it away. I can give people tangible items that I've purchased and not count it as a write-off. There's other financial ways I can get rid of this money that I may eventually make and help
Mhm.
versus just doing it to get a brand new Lamborghini or some shit or I don't know, whatever those big Twitch streamers do.
Yo, I get it. Shout out to
um,
Lamborghini. Not sponsored, but could be.
right,
I
that's
mean, I'm just saying.
I don't know,
There's
it's
no.
the most
I
expensive car I could think
I've
of.
got no Lamborghini affiliates, but you know, like if you you want to be,
But that's just not me.
yeah, yeah.
I
I'm
don't
just kidding.
want
Yeah, yeah.
I don't want I would like to be able to, pull my weight around here, and have enough money to do that without my husband supporting me, but he knows what I want to do and he's in it to win it. So,
Absolutely.
um
Yeah, you're right. Yeah. Uh,
that's why I thought of it actually, because she got a Lamborghini in the game in GTA. But
yeah.
yeah, I'm not doing it for the money. I'm not doing it for the fame. I'm doing it because I want to be that voice in the darkness.
Mhm.
And if I
Yeah.
can be that for somebody, that's all I want.
Yeah. And that's
And it's like a ripple effect. If I help them and somebody, and then they help somebody, and they, it's exponential.
yeah. And it all takes that. It only takes that one time to reach your hand out. Somebody grabs it, and like that's it. You change somebody's life. I mean,
Yeah.
and you do like, I don't know. You're a tough critic on yourself. I mean, I'm going to
Duh.
shamelessly plug my last charity stream, my 24-hour charity stream. You hung around for that for like 4 hours. I mean, granted, I was the one doing all the shitty punishments, uh, but I mean, we raised $650, and I don't think I would have got to that point if it wasn't for you. And
Oh, you
that
would have.
I mean, I am pretty awesome, and I would have raised money, but I don't think I would have raised
Yeah,
that much. Like you brought your
I
community in,
believe you would
and it well, thank you for believing in me. But
have.
we raised that money, and that's going towards a good veteran cause, and they make differences on a daily basis. And
Right.
like, yeah, you didn't do it firsthand, but I mean, you made a difference in that stream, which allowed us to donate to them, which they make a difference,
Yeah.
because they know what to do with it. I don't. I'm like, yeah, take my money. Just, I don't know what to do.
Take my money. Here.
Here's some
Do it.
socks. Like, I don't know what to do. Like, here's whiskey and cigarettes. That's the only thing I know how to do. Like, here you go. Like, I don't know.
Hey, that's a win in my book. Whiskey and cigarettes.
Absolutely. Well, I don't smoke
I don't
anymore.
drink whiskey and I don't smoke, but it's still a win.
I drink, but I don't smoke anymore. I miss it every day, but whatever.
Good for you.
Kick those bad habits. But yeah. So now you're doing the Twitch thing. Like I said,
Mhm.
Dan shouted it out earlier. I did as well. We'll put the link in the description on YouTube.
Dan's the best.
I'll link Rogue's channel on YouTube so you can find it there.
Yeah.
Because this video is going to be on YouTube. Everybody
Yeah.
who's in here, it's only going to be here for a little while, so you're catching the live exclusive. And then after that, it's going to live on YouTube for till the aliens take over or the robots, or whatever. I don't know. But yeah, I'll put that
We'll tell her.
in there. So yeah, uh, you hit your year mark. Are you doing anything special for your year?
I thought about doing a
I mean, that you could talk about.
24-hour stream, but everybody does that. And one thing about me is I don't like to be like everybody. I like to do
Yeah.
something different. And I was originally going to do it, and then I started hearing everybody doing their 24-hour birthday streams. I'm like, all right, I'm not doing that now.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I'm still thinking about something nuts.
Sure.
Because I mean, it's me. I do crazy shit all the time. So
Skydiving stream? Is that what I just heard?
no, fuck that.
Oh,
No.
sorry.
I may do a
Yeah,
I don't know.
It's okay. It's in the
I don't want to
works.
say it yet. I don't want to say it yet. I don't want to be
Stay tuned.
surprised.
You'll have to follow Rogue's channel to find out. Like you have to get all the tea from Rogue on her channel.
Tea. What is the tea other than testosterone? What
No,
is
I
the
think
tea?
yeah.
Explain
It's
it to
like
me.
when I think tea is when you spill like the details of stuff where you like
Oh, wouldn't
or
that be the
or you,
D?
I can't you can't go around saying, well, you're gonna get the D from fill in the blank because I don't
What?
know.
You know what we say? What we said in my day? It was the
Mm,
deets.
the deets, yeah.
The deets.
Yeah.
Give me the deets.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't know. We're dating ourselves.
We are.
But yeah, I don't know. I know it's a young kid thing. I know there's some younger kids in the chat. You can feel
Yeah.
free to explain it to the boomers in the room here. But yeah, so you'll have to follow Rogue to do it. You're on Twitter, you're on Twitch, you're on Facebook,
Instagram, although I
Instagram.
don't really do anything on there.
Mhm.
I just did it because I'm a selfish bitch and didn't want anybody else to have my name.
Yo, that's smart though. I know you're on the TikToks.
Yep.
I've heard you guys talk
On the
about those before. You
TikToks.
and
Yep.
Plum and Mom and
Yeah.
everybody else. So yeah. So now we talked about it earlier. Do you want to open it up for like a Q&A if anybody has any questions?
Yeah.
I know
I
we
mean,
talked
got
about
some
it
time.
earlier.
A little bit. I
We
mean, I
got
gotta get my stream going too, but
all the time in the
yeah, I
world.
got a
You
few
can
minutes.
hang out here until you want to, till you don't want
Yeah.
to. So if anybody has
Anybody
any
has
questions, not for me, for Rogue. It's about Rogue. So until then, so what kind of stuff do you do on your stream? Let's plug your stuff right now because people are on mine already. So
Well, we went through a little bit of a change. I was playing Warzone there for a while. But I've noticed that my attitude has changed a bit towards streaming. I noticed that it had changed a bit. And I couldn't figure out what it was. I was in I actually had a pretty low spot a few weeks ago. That my gal Plum helped me out of in DD.
Yo, Plum's amazing. I love me some Plum.
Yeah. She refused to let me recede into myself because when I have trouble, I don't like talking about it. I don't like talking to people. I don't want to reach out to anyone unless, they need me. And then I'm there. But I just call it my stubborn assholeness. I don't know. I don't like reaching out when I'm in trouble.
Yeah.
So she forced me to. And I had I came to the realization that I needed to get back to where I started, where I started streaming. And for the reasons I was doing it, I was doing it to help other people. I wasn't doing it just to play the game or get mad at a game or anything like that. And not to mention Warzone is totally fucked.
Yeah.
That's a whole nother stream.
It's a whole nother story for
a
different channel. But yeah,
really it was
totally
about me getting back to the roots of my channel and our family there and where I wanted it to go. And what I wanted it to do, the purpose that it serves. So we're trying new things. And I've redid some overlays and stuff, and
they look dope, by the way. I've been in there. That end credit scene fucking blew my mind. When you did it, I was like,
at the time. Oh my gosh. I'm glad it works.
was
I
like,
feel like it
oh.
doesn't work, but
Now I don't even want to do anything like that because I like people are just like, you just fucking ripped off Rogue. I'm like, yeah, I did because it's fucking awesome.
no,
Yeah,
but you know what? I'm okay with that. I'm not the type of person that's gonna,
yeah, I know.
be like, "Oh my god, you're doing that because no,
I
like
will
do
be though.
it."
I will be though. This is fucking great.
I appreciate. I've had a few smaller. I'm still a small streamer, but I've had a few other
Hmm.
streamers that like, hey, I totally use the the emote thing, and I do this and that you do, and I'm like, that's awesome. I mean, whatever
Yeah.
makes you happy, whatever works, like totally emulate it.
Hmm.
I don't care.
Yeah.
Like
I know.
it's my theory is I don't follow for follow.
Yeah.
Um,
Me neither.
I will
Absolutely.
follow you if you've got content that I think has potential. Not that I'm perfect. I'm sitting up here saying like I'm some kind of amazing, perfect streamer. I'm not. Okay, I fuck up all the time. But if I see that you have a good personality and not
Absolutely.
even a certain way, like
Hmm.
personality that is attracting, because you can I've seen streamers who bag on people and people love it. I've
Yeah.
seen streamers who are totally sweet and don't cuss and people love it. And personalities where they're just playing the game and they're in it and people love it. If you've got content that people are going to love, regardless of what kind of personality it is or what kind of content it is,
Yeah.
great, I'll follow you. If you got some potential and I see something in you, I'll follow you. If you're just sitting there
Yeah.
boring as fuck, looking at the camera or playing your game, probably not going to follow you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just saying.
I'm the exact same way. Like like if you have something interesting about you or your channel, like if you can play
Yeah.
if you're good at Call of Duty, yeah, that's great. I mean, hey, good for you. I'm trash. I'm hot trash. I know I am. But if you're good at it, hey, good for you. Uh, and I probably won't follow your channel because I'm there for the experience. If I want to watch like MLG fucking Call of Duty, I'll watch it on YouTube or
Right.
the actual Twitch channel. But if
Yeah.
you're in there, the thing that kind of like, so we're both in different. No, I think we're in the same uh, community, the military community on Twitch.
Mhm.
I used to be in regiment. Love me some regiment. It's just branching out, trying new places, new faces,
Right.
stuff like that. And that's how I found your channel was on the regiment one initially.
Yeah.
I got
It's all
Dude Face Jake. Yeah, I love Dude Face Jake. Like, I've met a lot of people through Twitch where I'm like, you're cool. I like your channel. Blah blah blah. There's very few people where like in real life I'd be like, we should hang out like on a
right.
regular basis. Like we should just go out. We should just sit down and talk. Like, and Jake's one of those kind of people. I feel like you're one of those kind of people too. And
Yeah.
Jake introduced me to Regiment. He's like, have you joined Regiment? I said, what's that?
Yeah.
And he was like, oh, showed me the whole ropes and everything. And I was scrolling through channels, and it's like, I'm not a big Call of Duty guy, and I was looking through channels, and it was like Call of Duty, Call of Duty, Call of Duty, and then everybody was like, they have that serious gamer face on, like they're not
Yeah.
like paying attention to chat or whatever. And then I'm like,
Okay.
whatever,
Yeah.
like, hey, that's great. You do you. Like, I'm gonna go to the next channel, and I saw your channel, and it said Call of Duty, and then I see you over here, and you're just like laughing and like super animated. I think I saw you do the froggy face, and I was like,
Oh.
I was like, what the fuck is that? Like, I gotta check out this channel.
What the fuck is that?
I jumped in the channel, and you guys are having a great time. And like I try to get in there every day, and it's those type of channels where people interact with the chat. Uh, people are themselves, and they kind of like they just are there. You're there to have fun. Those are the type of channels on YouTube or Twitch or whatever streaming platform that catch my attention because like yeah, the games are games. If I want to watch the game, I'll watch a walkthrough, but
Right.
I want to see like I'm there for the streamer content. And
Right.
I don't follow for follow, but if you're there and you're interesting and
Mhm.
whatever I drags me in initially, like if you keep up that like not hype, but like you keep that type of you're genuine. This is how you act,
Energy. Yeah.
like I'll stay there and it kind of different people are doing their own thing, but To me, that's what it's all about. I'm not the greatest at video games whatsoever, but nowhere close. But
It's not about the game. It's
uh,
really not.
yeah, I'm not here to do that. I'm the same thing for you. Like, this channel is called VOP Gaming. Nobody anywhere ever outside of this Twitch channel calls me VOP. There's nothing to do with me. It stands for Veteran Observation Post, because we're veterans that are looking out for each other. If you know what an observation post is, you get the reference. So
Yeah.
that's what this entire thing is we're looking out for other veterans, and it's the same thing. Like, I'm not trying to, like, all that money we made. I even donated so we at the charity stream we raised $630 bucks. It was like 31 and 50 something cents.
You round it up.
And I rounded up to 650 because, well, one, 650 sounds good, and two, I should donate
Yeah.
myself. I didn't spin the
Right,
wheel of
right.
punishment
Okay.
for it because that was
Yeah, that's
me
kinda kind
not that was me not having to do it. But
Right.
it's all about veterans and stuff around here, and
It is.
honestly,
And that's what I was missing.
Yeah.
So that's why
absolutely.
we revamped. But it's going well. It's going well. We're playing GTA
Ooh.
5, which I thought was gonna be a terrible experience, to be honest.
Yeah.
Because I never wanted to play Grand Theft Auto since the cars.
Yeah.
Well, since it stopped being about cars.
Mhm.
But with this community that I'm a part of, it's pretty great. It's pretty fun. And I think I'm going to be doing a lot more of that and just trying new games.
Mhm.
We played It Takes Two the other day, and
Oh, that
me and
looks
Plum,
fun.
and that
Yeah.
it was really fun. It was a fun time, and I just want to keep it fresh and not have it so ragey all the time with Warzone. God, for one thing or another, I was just getting angry, and
Yeah.
I don't want that to be. I don't want it to be about the game. I want it to be about what it's supposed to be about, and that's the vets, like you were saying. So
Absolutely.
that's where we're at today. It's just about the vets and good things to follow. We just hit over 1,000 followers, and I don't
Yo,
talk about it.
that's what's up. Congratulations. Yo,
Thanks.
1,000. Yo.
I don't like talking about it because I mean it's
Jeez.
not about the
Woo.
numbers. It's about the
Mm.
quality of people you get in.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And to your point about the follow for follow, like we were saying, no, we don't follow for follow. And I don't have any trouble helping somebody reach an affiliate either because it's on them. Like I can help so much. Okay, I can help you get affiliate. That's not a big deal.
Yeah.
It's keeping that engagement and growing yourself that it's
Mhm.
up to you. So that's one of the reasons why I don't follow for follow because a number is not going to help you
Long term. Yeah.
in the long term. No. And I'm all about helping affiliates that I believe have some kind of, or people who have some kind of potential. And it doesn't have to be,
Yeah.
anything super huge, but it just,
Yeah.
you can see that they're trying.
Absolutely.
And they're willing to put in that effort. I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
So, we're really about just helping the vets and helping people make affiliate and see how far we can get them.
Yeah.
And then see our little baby birds grow up.
Yeah.
Like
Absolutely.
Bob here. Didn't we help you make affiliate too?
Yo, absolutely. I'm sitting at like 170 followers. And
81, sir.
81. Sorry.
181.
I don't. That's how much I keep track of it. I love the community that I hate calling it a community. I love the people
Yeah, I
that are
don't
around me.
either.
I don't know what to call it. Like I don't know what to say. And and eh, so quick story time since we're sharing stories about stuff. I used to do this channel with a couple other people. Kind of split, fell apart. I was really having a rough time with it, and I was legit like, it's not worth it. Like I'm stressing myself out so much doing the YouTube channel, doing this all by myself. I didn't plan on doing it. I had 3 other people when I first started this.
Right.
And I was like, yeah, I've met some cool people, but I'm just going to take a step back. And lo and behold, I'm sitting there with like 2 people in the stream. Fucking Rogue comes in and nukes my channel with like,
Fucking Rogue.
yo, like hype train, like level 4, like off the bat, subs and Bits and Plum was there and Mom was there and
Oh,
I
you
don't
know
know who
what?
else. I don't
We found you randomly. We
yeah,
found you, I think, in a random because that's what we do. I don't want to tell my secrets, okay?
sure.
But
Hey, you keep your devil
we
magic to
found you
yourself. I know.
randomly in just scrolling through lowest views,
Yeah.
actually. No offense.
Look, I've got like 180 people. I don't
But we did that on purpose, and
yeah.
that's what we do. And then
Yeah.
we just shower them with
Yeah.
frog love, and
Fucking blew up my
you meet the best
channel
people that
and
way.
it kind of gave me that like, yo, the random people still came in here, showed you love, like you got it, man. Keep going. And because of that, we had the charity stream, raised that money.
Yep.
We're planning on doing another one. We're doing plans in the future. This came
Right.
back. I never thought that I would do this again after I had the split up with, my other co-host and everything. I thought this was kind of dead because I'm not like super charismatic. That's what the other guy was for, And
Aw.
so I mean, honestly, like, and that's why that's why I'm super glad that you actually decided to come and do this because like you kind of helped bring you gave this channel that kick in the ass to like keep it going and doing it, so like that's why I asked and I'm super glad you're here today. And it's been
I'm glad to be here.
it's been in a great spotlight. Definitely one of my favorites. I smiled probably more than I should have. I look like a goof most of the time, just like doe-eyed
Hey, we
and like a big
smiled,
old
I
smile on my
cried,
face.
we're
Like
good. We're good.
whatever. Like I didn't cry, which I really thought I was going to a couple times, but I held it together,
We held it together.
barely. So I mean, is there anything you want to? Oh, you want to plug your? We plugged your Twitch, twitch.tv/rogue_frog, just like it
Yeah.
sounds. Same thing on TikTok.
Yep. Same thing. Rogue_frog. Yep,
Same thing
I
on.
Yep. It's the same everywhere. I did that
across
on
the board.
purpose.
Good.
Yep.
Yes.
I think
Tried to
so.
do the same.
Let me just double check my.
Yeah,
Yep.
double check.
TikTok's the same. Yep.
Yeah, TikTok. You're also on Twitter, still Rogue_frog. Shouted her out. So if you follow me, I shouted her out. If you don't follow her, go follow her. Why? Go right now. Go do it right now. Well, not right
Go
now.
right now.
Not right now. Wait until we finish. But afterwards, go. Oh, there go all the viewers. No, just kidding.
Yeah, right now.
Yeah, it's all gone.
Bye.
Yeah. All right. Peace out. Yeah. So, awesome. Well, I mean, is there anything? Oh, sorry. Normally, what we ask, we kind of got away from this. What was the your happiest day when you were the day where you look back and it's just like that it brings a smile to your face? The happiest day when you were in the military.
Ugh.
That day when you're just like, oh, your go-to like story, your go-to like, you're feeling down on yourself and you're like, you remember that one time? And then it like montages back to.
Yeah, my happiest day in the military. Jeez.
Or one of them. I mean, it's hard to, I've got a few that I like are go-tos.
Shit. Happiest or scariest? I don't know. Take your pick.
Different people find happiness in different places.
Right. One of my best stories and the happiest and the most I've laughed being deployed. I was my second deployment, actually, believe it or not. It was the best and the worst. Me and my battle got chased by a camel spider. And so they don't chase you knowing now.
They chase the shape.
Yeah. They chase the shadow and the shape, right? So we got chased. 2 grown-ass women got chased by a fucking camel spider into the bathroom. And we're screaming like girls.
Oh, that's great.
And then we're like trying to hype ourselves up. We are soldiers in the United States military. We are deployed. We have M16s. We've done all this stuff. We're scared of fucking camel spiders. And we're like, we're gonna go out there and do it. And we open it. She opens the door. Ski was her name for short. She opens the door right to the shower trailer, right? And that the second deployment they got smarter with their barricades, so the barricades are overlapping
Mhm.
all the way around the buildings. Each building is barricaded.
Yeah.
For the mortar attacks.
Yep.
So she opens the door and we go to get ready to creep out, right? Or just haul ass. And uh it jumps on the wall in front of us, right? Right, looking right in the door. And we're like, ah! We shut the door and we're like screaming, doing circles in the bathroom. That was
Oh,
stupid. We were so scared at first, and then
yeah.
uh, the irony in all of this is we get mortared on the daily, right?
Mhm.
Not scary.
Yeah.
Not scary. Small arms fire at the gate. Not scary. Okay. Fucking camel spiders 6 feet away.
Yeah.
Scared to death.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
It's
You're
perspective. It's perspective. Like when you're there, you're
yeah.
not thinking about, yeah, we're getting mortared. Okay. Not
You're s
it. Did
yeah.
it is it close? Did I feel that? No, we're good. Um Fucking camel spiders though.
Yeah. Well, it's because you're desensitized to all that other stuff. Camel spider. Spiders are
Right.
fucking scary, period. And then
Camel
when they're
spiders
fucking
are
big,
fucking nasty.
yo,
Oh my
the
god.
fuck? When you get chased by something that looks like it belongs in a horror movie,
It does. It really does.
it's terrifying. It's absolutely terrifying. So I feel you. I probably would have burned it down. I would have burned. Oh, the shower tent's gone. What happened? There was a
Burn
spider,
it down. There
camel
would have been
spider.
shots fired at
Yep.
the fucking shots fired at the concrete barricade for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. You have to give the ceasefire because you're unloading your magazine at the this camel spider.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's awesome.
That was and we laughed so hard. So we were terrified and we were laughing at the same time. Um it was a good moment. It was a good moment.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's
Among many others.
yeah.
But
Yeah, it's always a good.
you forget about those sometimes.
Yeah.
You
Well,
forget about the good ones.
that's why I like
Yeah.
to
Of
ask.
course, the helicopter. My most honorable moment in the military would have been that helicopter moment that I shared earlier.
Yeah, that's amazing. Yeah. Well, and that's why I like
But
to ask. What's the best moment? Because, like you said, we forget about it. We always remember like the mortars, the IEDs, the
mhm.
gunshots, the this, the that. It's
Yeah.
constantly focused on it. But where was the days where you filled a water bottle full of the stuff you get in the MREs, the heat pack. You throw water in it and you throw it over and it explodes and people freak out. Where are those moments? Like when you're doing training, you're at 29 Palms in the middle
Uh,
of the fake desert. Well, it's a real desert.
yeah,
Believe you
the
me,
fake
it's a
real
real
desert.
desert, but
Yeah.
it's a fake town, and you're doing stuff like that to people. Those are the moments that you forget about,
Mhm.
but those are
Sitting back to back
yeah,
when you don't have a chair and you don't
yeah,
want to fall asleep in the dirt, sitting back to
exactly.
back with your
Yeah.
battle.
It's
Yeah,
those moments that we forget about, but those moments, like, it's all about you fill your heart with those moments, and it makes things a little easier.
a little easier.
Yeah,
Yep.
absolutely. But anyways, we're heading up on 3 hours,
Anyways,
Rug. Yeah,
I know.
this
I've
is
got to
great.
pee.
I know this has been great. Awesome. So you're a few more things, real quick
Yeah.
before you pee on yourself. Um,
Yeah.
so
It's been known to happen. It's been known to happen, Bob.
yeah, hey, I've been there, done that. We're diapers in Iraq because military things.
Yeah, they didn't have
Whatever.
that shit.
Yeah. Anyways, what's your normal streaming? Do you have a normal streaming schedule? You mornings,
I do.
afternoons,
Well,
evenings?
kind of. It's a work in progress. That's another thing that we changed,
Sure.
that I changed about the stream, just because of personal reasons, but
Yeah.
mostly because I wanted to, shake things up. I wanted to be able to reach people in the evening,
Hmm.
when they're getting off of work. Because I mean, everybody's starting to go back to work, and not that I saw much of a difference in viewership, necessarily. I mean, there was a
Yeah.
little bit of ups and downs,
Sure.
but it was just about reaching that fresh audience, and you know, trying to catch as many people as I can,
Hmm.
um, to help them, and you know, let everybody know that they're not alone. I mean, you got to be available. So,
Yeah, 24 hours a day.
uh,
You
yeah.
reach you
So
reach that
evening
olive
streams
branch,
mostly.
and once you say, "Hey, feel free to hit me up anytime," like
Yeah.
legit, it has to be at any time because
Yeah.
it's rough.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, and I have a pretty good group of mods and Frog Guard in the Discord and in Twitch
absolutely.
that reach out and help, and I'm always looking for more. We're getting bigger, so I definitely
Yeah,
want to make sure that there's enough people to answer when we need and be there, so we're not burning each other out, you know?
absolutely. Yeah, your Discord's still rogue underscore. Discord's weird to me. Like I don't know how to look up specific.
Yeah, I don't know how it never works for me either.
Is Dan or somebody in here that can plug rogue's
It's
Discord?
rogue
Uh,
underscore frog.
yeah,
Uh,
I'll get it when I
yeah.
put this on YouTube. It'll be all that stuff will be. I'll get with somebody and I'll put all of that stuff in the YouTube video. But for anybody who's not in here, don't you know what? Don't even worry about it. Go follow Rogue, and when she streams next time, be like, "Hey, where's your Discord?" Get it from there. Don't get it here. Get it from her channel because
Here,
you should
wait.
be
Let me
following
see
her
if
anyways.
I
Like I said, go follow.
should be.
Open up another tab. Go follow, and then come back.
There we go. Wait. Right.
Oh, you got it.
There you go.
Boom. There we go.
I don't know if that works for everybody. I think. Oh, it says it expires in 7 days, but it's
Whatever.
fine.
The
Whatever.
chat and everything, none of that's going to be up. It's just going to be this stream that's up
Yeah.
on YouTube. I think so.
Cool.
I hope. Oh, I didn't even think about that.
What?
What's going to show up when I download this on? That's whatever. I'll deal.
Oh,
No, future me has to worry about that.
future
Not me
me.
right now. Like me
Future
right now.
me.
Yeah, future me has to worry about that. Not me. The me that is going to be drinking because of figure didn't even think about this stuff has to worry about that. Not.
My goodness.
Yeah, not me now.
Yeah.
But, anyways, thank you for being here. We just hit 3 hours. It's
Yeah.
been great.
We did.
It flashed in a. I blinked
It
and
did.
it's over with.
Yeah. Hear
But
me
yeah.
blow that hot air.
Yeah, that's great though. Loved it. Every minute of it. So, I mean, is there anything else you want to plug? You want to say? You want anything else?
No, I mean, Vop, you're a great guy. You don't give yourself enough credit.
Yeah, you don't have to hype me up on your on. This is your moment, not not mine. Don't.
We're gonna fight. No.
Yeah.
But yeah, if anybody seriously, there's a good group. Me, Vop, Regiment, MVG, MVP. There's so many organizations out there that are willing and ready and able to help. You're not alone. You don't have to do it alone. There's a support system for you. Chat to any one of us. Send us a message. My Twitch messages actually nobody uses those. So if you need me, message me. I'll get it. And give me a little bit because I do. I mean, I check it as often as I can, but I'm human and I miss things sometimes. So just give me a shot, and you know, we're all here for you. There's so many, and be willing to accept that help. Fuck me, because I need that more than anyone to be able to say, just shut the fuck up and let me talk to you for a minute, please. Because
Yeah.
just be open and willing to take the not criticism, but take the words that we're telling you to heart. And I know it's hard to do, but I mean, we're trying to help. We really do. We want to help. I mean, that's why I'm doing it. That's why Vop's doing it. And just let us help you.
Yeah. Let me
Self-talk.
help you, damn it.
'Cause I'm a
Help me
stubborn
help
bitch,
you,
so-
damn it.
Help me help you. But yeah,
That's
we
the
we
next
gotta look out for each other because there's a lot of people who won't, unfortunately. But we know, we understand, we get it. We've been there. If not, we can understand more than most the situations and shit that we were in, the shit that we saw,
Yeah.
the shit that we're feeling. And it doesn't matter how long ago. That's one of the things that took me so long to understand. I'm like, yeah, but it was years ago. Yeah, it doesn't matter. That shit sticks with you. That's like mud that you can't rub off of your shoe, and it's constantly there, and
Yeah.
sometimes it stinks more than other days, and it happens, but
Yeah, absolutely.
we're here for you,
Mhm. We are.
really.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Thank you so much for being here. I know you've got to tinkle.
You're welcome.
So,
You're welcome.
anyways, so next week I have a few people in mind. I'm gonna get in contact with them. I'm not gonna spill the tea here.
Oh, the T.
Yeah,
Or
I'm
the
not
D.
gonna the D. I'm not gonna get. I'm not gonna spill the D here.
TOS. You can't spill the D.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not gonna spill the D here or the deets or whatever you want to call it, the T, the whatever. But I've got a few more people that I've got to reach out to and plan some stuff for the future. But it's not about the future; it's about right now. So thank you, Rogue, for being here. Go check out Rogue's channel, all her social medias, all that kind of stuff. Check this out on YouTube. It'll be on YouTube. It'll be shit, I forgot my own YouTube channel name. VOP Gaming. Yeah.
VOP Gaming. Yeah.
VOP Gaming. It used to be something else, but I changed it so that way VOP Gaming's everywhere. That way
There you go.
just like Rogue. If you know my name, my
Everywhere.
gaming name, it travels all across the world. But so you'll check it out on YouTube, VOP Gaming. It'll be up in like 48 hours or however long. I have slow internet, so I got to download it. Not my problem either. Future me's problem. But anyways, yeah. Thank you for being here. Thank you for everybody who came in and hung out. I know we kind of ignored chat because it's not, I wanted to be about
hard
Rogue.
for me not to do. I kept looking at it.
Yeah, I want to kind of focus on whoever's here.
Yeah.
We kind of picked in a little bit, and then we were like, hey, does anybody have any questions? And nobody said anything. So fuck y'all. If you wanted to ask something, you had your opportunity.
You had your chance.
Yeah, you had your chance. So, and those of you who are watching this on YouTube, like future YouTube, because this is the future, like, yo, if you have a question, you can leave it in the comments, but I doubt Rogue's going to answer it. You just have to show up for the next video. We're going to do them every Thursday. So if you have a question, show up Thursday, Mountain Standard Time. Remember that, Rogue? Mountain Standard Time.
Yeah, right. My bad. My bad, guys.
And yeah, show up on this channel, twitch.tv/VOP Gaming. So with that being said, with all the plugs being said, all the thank yous, and if I keep going, I'm gonna end up crying. So anyways, I want to thank, I thanked everybody. I'm doing it. I'm going in a circle. Just shut up and do your closing. Thank you guys for being here. Thank you so much for all the support. Thank you for, everything you guys do. Oh no, come on. Don't start putting stuff in chat now because I'm going to read it. Oh yeah. If you have any questions about where the videos are, go to Rogue's channel. Ask her. Twitch.tv/Rogue_frog. Yeah.
Lily's on it.
Gosh. Okay. Where was I at? The outro. That's what I was doing. Thank you guys so much for, God, it's like the third or fourth time I'm trying to do this. I'm a professional, kind of,
Kind of.
I haven't hit 200 yet. So give me a break. If not,
it's not about the numbers, Vops. Yeah. Not about the numbers.
Yeah, that's what she said. I stole it from Rogue, so don't look at me. I stole it from Rogue. Don't look at me like that. It's her chat command in my channel, so don't look at me like that. Get out of here. Don't judge me. Anyways, thank you very much. Remember who you are.